says the break-in doesn't make sense.
The imagination that these criminals have who broke into that building just shows the idiocy behind it. If the trophies were of incalculable value, you can imagine the security would have been profound. The reality is that they were in quite a public place simply because they actually are trinkets. They have a very, very low intrinsic value. Formula One trophies are not made of gold and silver and platinum and diamonds. You know, I've seen trophies made of plastic and wood and a bit of polished aluminium.
The family of a 3-year-old girl who was knocked down at Berry Park in Luton say they'll continue campaigning for the road layout to be changed. Maya Shahzad died after being hit by a bus in August. Despite officials saying it played no part in her death, her mother Shazia believes a better road system with pedestrian crossings could have saved her life.
She's always going to be part of me, but what I'm going to say, there's no safety in Berry Park. I'm not going to let this happen to anybody else's child. What I've lost, I don't want no mother or father or family to go through what we're going through.
A protest has been staged by players and fans of Hitchin Town Football Club against plans to build on their ground. The Canaries could be relocated to a site off Stevenage Road if their Topfield ground is turned into a supermarket. Supporters say the impact on the club would be devastating.
If the club does move out of the town centre, I think it'll kill it. I can't see people travelling out that far out to go and watch them every week.
Dreadful for the town. We have enough supermarkets already. It'll be awful for the local shops, local butchers, bakers, they'll all close down.
In sport, Ronnie O'Sullivan has won the UK Snooker Championship at the Barbican Centre in York, beating Judd Trump by 10 frames to 9. And the weather will be generally dry with sunny spells but chilly, with top temperatures just 5 degrees Celsius, that's 41 degrees Fahrenheit. You can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
This is how you do that song.
Istanbul was Constantinople, now it's Istanbul, now Constantinople, been a long time gone. Constantinople, now it's Turkish delight on a moonlit night. Every gal in Constantinople lives in Istanbul, now Constantinople. So if you've a date in Constantinople, she'll be waiting in Istanbul. Even old New York was once New Amsterdam. Why they changed it, I can't say. People just liked it better that way. So take me back to Constantinople. No, you can't go back to Constantinople. Been a long time gone. Constantinople, why did Constantinople get the works? That's nobody's business but the Turks.
Is it about a gap year?
Istanbul.
Grot bags. I imagine it's got something to do with grot bags.
Istanbul, even old New York was once New Amsterdam. Why they changed it, I can't say. People just liked it better that way. Istanbul was Constantinople, now it's Istanbul, now Constantinople, been a long time gone. Constantinople, why did Constantinople get the works? That's nobody's business but the Turks.
And indeed, Christmas is not coming.
Hey, are you calling me a schmuck?
Women in underwear does look nice. Sex is everywhere.
So take me back to Constantinople. No, you can't go back to Constantinople. Been a long time gone. Constantinople, why did Constantinople get the works? That's nobody's business but the Turks. Istanbul.
Morning, folks.
All together now. We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas and a reggae New Year. How to annoy Catherine when she's actually doing a proper bit of work and setting up a guest on the telephone.
I was thinking, please don't still be singing by the time I pop her through. Morning, guys. I think that's the first time ever in radio history that Istanbul, not Constantinople, has been played twice in a row. Twice in a row. Coming up on the show this morning, parking peeves, Red Bull thieves, and drink drive Deeves. I changed it so it rhymed.
Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense.
Well, drink drive dobbing doesn't flow.
That's part of the beauty of it.
That's the beauty of gas. Cookability.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
We got some good stuff for you to phone in as well. Chavi Clinton's Christmas card, where it's rude about working class people. I don't think it's that rude. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's rude. We'll talk about that later on. And also, what was the other one about songs? Songs...
Oh, well, I made a noise this morning.
Yeah.
Because an MP was caught playing Candy Crush when he was supposed to be on the select committee for something. And I went, wah, wah, wah. And we got talking about how sometimes there is a musical burst that means...
What songs mean things? For example, if something spooky happened now, one of us would go...
Yep. And if...
Did someone just drop one?
That was Kelly.
Oh.
No, I just made a noise.
Yeah, from...
Oh,
okay.
If Kelly was to take a... jacket off now.
Yeah.
We'd go ta-da.
Yeah. What?
That's a bad joke, isn't it?
That bad joke is. So songs that mean things, music that has a meaning, guys. And I don't mean Bob Dylan. That's my chair. 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
But before Debbie Gibson, parking. Back in 2011, there was a huge row when Milton Keynes Council tried to increase parking charges. Well, 3 years later, they're trying again. Last time, there was such uproar that officials had to reverse their decision, changing 700 premium spaces back to standard rate. Well, this time the council says that without future investment in the parking infrastructure, it runs the risk of not being responsive to customer demand. Well, Linda Inoki is from the lobby group Explain. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning.
Tell me about these plans and your thoughts on them, please.
Well, actually, in 2011, they did manage to raise parking rates massively in central Milton Keynes. And we're still bearing the scars today because, just as predicted, the rates went up so much and so little thought had gone into it that people stayed away from Milton Keynes in droves. The council's revenue actually fell, and overnight there were thousands of empty spaces in central Milton Keynes. I would say that we're just about recovered from that now, but we're very worried that the same thing could happen again.
The council's looking, if I got this right, the council's looking at putting up the premium tariff from £1.40 to £2 an hour and increase the standard tariff from 40 pence to 50 pence an hour.
Correct.
Now, as someone who I lived in London for a very long time, and I'm always surprised by out of London parking prices at how cheap they are. That doesn't sound that bad an increase to me, Linda.
It doesn't sound bad an increase compared to London rates, but still you've got to remember that central Milton Keynes is the flagship of the regional economy. This area is set for massive growth, and having plenty of parking which is at the right price and in the right places is vital to keeping the city centre attractive. I mean, Milton Keynes has been built, its success has been built on fantastic access and, right amounts of parking. So we've really got to get it right. Use with precision, increasing your parking charges here and there at the right rate, at the right time, can be fantastic. I mean, that can help control congestion, get people using the buses more or walking or cycling, and it can support the economy. But as I said, last time they raised rates in 2011, it was used as a blunt instrument, and it really didn't work.
So your concern is that this is being done as kind of a blanket thing and that there's not really much intelligent thought being put into it?
That's exactly it in a way. The thing is, Milton Keynes Council started last May a complete review of parking in central Milton Keynes and improving public transport links. And we thought, great, this is just what we need. We need a complete review of the situation because we know Central Milton Keynes is so important for the regional economy, and it's set for massive growth. We've got to get the parking and the transport right. And this report is due to be published in January. So why suddenly rush this thing forward to increase rates so massively, well over 25% in some areas? They're going to also increase the costs of buying a parking permit if you work in Central Milton Keynes. We're just really worried, what is the rush? Let's wait a bit. Let's not go for knee-jerk reactions.
Linda, I appreciate you joining us at this ridiculous time in the morning. Thank you very much. Linda Inoki from the lobby group Explain. If you want to have your say on this, you're more than welcome to. 08459 455 555. Yeah, 1980s. Debbie Gibson. Deborah Gibson. Debbie Gibson.
That was before she got a little bit rude.
I love Debbie Gibson. When I used to listen to that album whilst I was doing my free paper round throughout Farnham Common, guys. Those were the days. Used to get paid halfpenny a paper. Imagine being old enough to have lived in a world where you got paid a halfpenny for something. That's me. I lived in a world where I got paid a halfpenny for putting a newspaper through someone's letterbox.
Did you put it fully through or did you leave it hanging out?
Sometimes I dumped them in a bush. Yeah! Yeah.
They had bushes back then.
Yeah, totally.
It was all bushes back then.
Anyway, we'll have some Lorena Pallo later on. I'm excited because she's following me on Twitter.
Yeah.
Woo, party time.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
If you're heading into London this morning on the A... some people are. On the A406 eastbound, it's partially blocked because of a serious accident just before the M11 Junction 4. It's down to a single lane there.
Ouch.
It's also building up on the North Circular Road westbound between the Clockhouse Interchange and Bounds Green Road.
Know it well.
Elsewhere, having a look on the speed sensors in Hertford, North Road has some temporary traffic lights at Bramfield Road that could cause some delays later on this morning. And there's still the roadworks going on around the Black Cat roundabout, so expect delays.
When will they finish that?
North Road. Having a look at the motorways on the cameras, it's looking fine on the M1 in both directions and no problems on the A1M. But on the trains, London Midland have replacement bus service running between Watford Junction and St Albans Abbey. That's for ongoing engineering works until the end of the month.
Unbelievable.
Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties
Sammy,
Radio.
do you know my favourite thing when I'm driving? And this is genuinely my favourite thing, and every time I come across it, I punch the air in delight.
Oh, what is it?
It's when you get to a really busy junction that's got traffic lights,
Right.
and the traffic lights aren't working.
Why do you like that?
I don't know. Do you know what I say out loud? I remember what I say out loud. I speak French. I go, l'anarchie, which I think is French for the anarchy. Am I right, Catherine?
L'anarchie.
Yeah, okay. So I'm right. I go, l'anarchie. And I'm celebrating the anarchy of the moment, Sammy.
But it sounds like you're saying, the market. Oh, le marché.
Thank you, Samantha. We'll speak to you later. Oh, l'anarchie!
Who's that?
That's French for the anarchy.
L'anarchie.
Yeah, l'anarchie!
No.
And seriously, every time I approach traffic lights and they're broken, l'anarchie! Oh, dear. 6:17, it's Monday, the 8th of December. I've got a Christmas tree. Have you? There are new plans to put up the cost of parking in central Milton Keynes. 6 Red Bull trophies have been stolen after a gang of men bashed down the entrance of Formula One team's base in Tilbrook. And the family of a young girl who was knocked down in Luton say they will fight to get pedestrian crossings put where she died. Want to have your say on any of those stories or songs that mean something? And I don't mean Bob Dylan blowing in the wind, I mean...
It's more of a musical burst than a song, isn't it?
Time to go home. 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sport generic.
Three Counties Sport isn't just about hearing your team in action.
Seals a famous victory here! What drama we've had!
It's about the managers.
You've got to make the most of your openings, and we perhaps haven't done that, and haven't done it so far this season, if I'm honest.
The players.
We know we need to be better. We're not being complacent. We'll find a solution that will get us playing how we was last season, how the fans expect us to be playing.
And the fans.
I'm getting seriously concerned we could end up back where we started.
Every day, we bring you latest news on your local team.
Wycombe Wanderers remained 5th in League 2 after a 0-0 draw with Bury. Stevenage lost 3-2 at home against York.
Three Counties Sport, keeping you up to date with Luton, Watford, MK Dons, Stevenage and Wycombe every day of the week on BBC Three Counties Radio.
But thinking nothing could go wrong.
...459 455 555 is the telephone number. Now, 4 months ago, we reported on this story. I'm sure you remember it, and if you live in Luton, you'll certainly remember it. The terrible accident in Luton's Bury Park. 3-year-old Maya Shazad died after being hit by a bus while trying to cross the road. Now, despite police saying it played no part in her death, her family believe a better road system with pedestrian crossings could have saved her life. And if you know that stretch of road, it's very, very busy, and I've driven up it several times, and it's a thoroughly unpleasant stretch of road, really. This weekend, they held a fundraiser in a bid to get the road system changed. I'm very pleased to meet at last Chetan Patak. Good morning, Chetan. It's nice to meet you. You were there. Remind us a little bit of the background. What happened to Maya?
Yeah, so Maya was out walking with her family in Bury Park on the 8th of August. She was with her brother, she was with her sister, mum and dad. They were shopping and about to get something to eat. The family say they all crossed the road together. What happened next, Ian? There is confusion around. Maya was hit by a bus, that we know. She was run over, she was killed. The police have told me their investigation has now concluded that it was an accident, that nobody was to blame. They believe the road layout didn't play a part. The family, though, disagree. They say Maya was on the pavement, not on the road. They aren't happy with the investigation, including the way they were treated by police on the day and subsequently. Now, I spoke to Maya's mother, Shazia, at the weekend. It's her first interview. She's still incredibly emotional and told me what the past 4 months have been like.
I've got 2 children that, with me. I've got my son, Mohammed Iain, and I've got my daughter, Maheen. Every day, Maheen says, "Where's my sister?" But I don't have an answer for her because I don't know myself. Where's my daughter gone? I came out on a family day out and I've lost her. My family is incomplete. It's never going to be complete.
You're holding a really beautiful picture of Maya and your family memories, and literally every picture that we can see, she's smiling. How will you remember her?
She's my princess. I'm always going to remember her smile. In the morning when I get up, I put a picture of her and her brothers and sisters in my room. So I look at her before I do anything, and I look at her before I go to sleep because she's always going to be part of me. But what I'm going to say, there's no safety in Bury Park. I'm not going to let this happen to anybody else's child. What I've lost, I don't want no mother or father or family to go through what we're going through.
Oh dear. Well, I was telling you before, Chetan, I've got 2 little boys, and when you hear a parent that's lost a child, it really is just heartbreaking. Maya's mum was speaking to you at a fundraising event at Bury Park Community Centre. What are they raising money for?
Well, as you heard, the family's concern there is that road layout in Bury Park. They say it's unsafe and that it played a part in Maya's death. They're trying to raise at least £2,000. That's what they need for an independent survey to be carried out of Dunstable Road. I also spoke to Maya's uncle, Zulfikar, at this event. This is what he told me.
Where is there a safe crossing in Bury Park? Where is it? The humps, there's no crossing. It doesn't show crossing. In Bury Park, the drivers are so arrogant that they don't give you way. And secondly, the pavements, why are they so large? Why is the road so narrow? Why is there a hump in the middle for no reason? As when a bus goes through, it either has to go halfway on the hump or it has to go close to the pavement. Which one is it to be?
Now, Luton Borough Council have told me there's been a significant reduction in accidents on Dunstable Road since the current road layout was introduced in 2006, but it welcomes feedback from local residents. Many of the business owners and people in Bury Park that I spoke to on Saturday say it's dangerous. They say there's no crossing and that something needs to be done. Here's Zulfikar again.
We live here and we walk here and we drive through here, so we know how dangerous it is. So we're going to get a health and safety independent advisor who's going to come along and he will do a full report on Bury Park. Not just where Maya passed away, but Bury Park as a whole. I think together as a community, if we stick together, this will go through, and the council needs to listen to us. And by the council throwing a few statistics at us, it doesn't mean that we're going to stop what we're fighting for.
The family hope the independent survey can be carried out as soon as they've raised the money. I should add, Iain, that I've spoken to Arriva. Their bus was involved in the death. Their internal investigation has now concluded. They say they accept the police findings that it was an accident, but will continue to work with authorities over any concerns about the road layout. I'm told the driver is back at work, but not in a driving capacity at this time.
Chetan, thank you very much for that. And I have to humbly apologise because when you entered the building this morning... all the lights were off. I felt so embarrassed. It's the first time we've met. All the lights were off, and you kind of walked past me, because I was hiding to pounce on Catherine Boyle. And you walked past, and I thought, do I... Morning, Chetan.
Kind of when you're stumbling in Monday morning, half asleep, in at work, thinking, you know, your mind's elsewhere, half zombie, and then there you are, standing in the corner, in the pitch black, saying good morning, Chetan. Yeah, it was different.
I have got slight beef with you.
Go on.
Because then you went upstairs and saw Catherine, and she said, is he hiding down there? And you just said yes, straight away.
I know.
I knew you were
It
down
wasn't
there.
instinctive. I'd heard the door, but Catherine was like, he was down there, wasn't he? She knew. She knew it was coming.
But, mate, you could have lied.
You're right. Next time. We'll do it again tomorrow, all over again.
All right, Chetan, thank you very much indeed.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is
Unbelievable.
Iain Lee.
BBC.
I like him. Can we keep him, please?
No, we can't.
One for my side. A grass.
Unbelievable.
Listen, I know when all the lights are off, there is someone crouching in the shadows waiting for me.
No, sometimes we turn the lights off just to scare you, because you will be. It will then take you 10 minutes to walk down the stairs. Yeah, you like that? How's about them apples? Look at you two both dressed like the Milk Tray Man.
Huh?
Thanks very much. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
If you're heading into London on the A406 eastbound this morning, it's partially blocked because of a multi-vehicle accident just before the M11 junction 4 at Woodford. It's causing queues now to Waterworks Corner. Also in Bricketwood on the A405 North Orbital Road, it's starting to get heavy around the M25 junction 21A roundabout. Having a look at the speed sensors around High Wycombe, there's no reports of any major problems at the moment, just those roadworks in place on Marlow Hill at the junction for Marlow Road. That could get busy later on, and having a look at the motorways, it's all moving fine on the M40 and no reports of any problems so far on the M25. On the trains, there's no reports of any delays on the departure boards, but London Midland have a replacement bus service running between Watford Junction and St Albans Abbey, and that's for ongoing engineering works. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30, I'm Lee Agnew. The headlines: there are new plans to put up the cost of parking in central Milton Keynes. It comes 4 years after the council reversed an unpopular decision to make hundreds of spaces more expensive. A gang of 6 men have stolen around 60 trophies from the Red Bull racing team's base in Milton Keynes after ramming down the front entrance. The raid in Tilbrook took place in the early hours of Saturday morning. The family of a 3-year-old girl who was knocked down at Bury Park in Luton say they'll continue campaigning for the road layout to be changed. They believe proper pedestrian crossings could have saved Maya Shahzad's life. The weather will be generally dry with sunny spells but chilly, with top temperatures just 5 degrees Celsius, that's 41 degrees Fahrenheit.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Wycombe Wanderers are out of the FA Cup after a 1-0 defeat to AFC Wimbledon.
He's got into the box, it's Rigg, he's through, first time shot, it's a goal for Wimbledon. Rigg calmly slotted the ball to the right-hand side of Matt Ingram, and it's in the back of the net. Franken caused all the damage, laid it off to Rigg. He didn't need asking twice. It's 1-0 to Wimbledon.
So AFC Wimbledon are through to the third round for the first time in their 12-year history. The MK Dons are also out of the competition, but Luton face a replay after a 1-1 draw at Bury. West Ham have taken the third spot in the Premier League table after their 3-1 victory over Swansea at Upton Park. In snooker, Ronnie O'Sullivan has won the UK Championship at the Barbican Centre in York. He beat Judd Trump by 10 frames to 9 in a dramatic final decider after his opponent fought back from 9-4 down.
Years ago, 9-4, you probably would have expected to kind of get 3-4, you know, enough chances. But nowadays, you get players that, they can reel 4 or 5 frames off on the bounce now. So 5 or 6 frames isn't a massive lead because they can claw that back within an hour, and you're back even. So it's just a game of momentum, really, isn't it?
And in cycling, Hertfordshire's Laura Trott won Great Britain's 4th gold of the Track World Cup in London with victory in the women's Omnium. It's her 2nd gold medal at the 3-day event.
I'm so happy. It's like it's a lucky charm or something. Obviously, for me, it's really nice because it is so close to my home and my family are here once again, so it's really nice to win in front of them.
And that's BBC Three Counties News and Sport. We've more at 7 o'clock.
Hang on. Who's put this in?
It was for Justin.
Did Justin ask for this?
He asked for it, yeah.
Get him up. On the radio. Get Dealey up on the radio. I want to speak to him now.
Okay.
Hang on a minute. I don't know if we can play this.
What's that song about?
I've got no idea. It's a bit more. All I can think of when I hear this song is her on top of the pops with the ripped jean bum. Bum jean. Jean? Bum?
I wonder what you're going to finish that sentence with.
No.
Her on top of the pops.
I mean, get Dealey up now. Very big in India. So I feel sorry for Sam Fox because she's got her knockers.
Oh.
Come on, guys. Yeah?
No.
No? Where is he? I don't want any shiz from him.
Okay, I'll stand by.
He's standing by.
Justin?
What's up, boss?
Hang on, this is what's up. This?
What?
Did you sneak this onto our playlist?
What, Sam Fox, Touch Me?
Yeah.
I've got news for you. I'm still in the newsroom, by the way.
Who?
I am.
Oh, well,
working on a piece.
You're upstairs?
Yeah, I'm upstairs.
You've not gone out yet?
Oh, well, I've been out, I've come back.
Flipping heck. All right.
So I'm out of breath. So, when you was away, we played Sam Fox and Touch Me. Such great feedback on it, I thought I'd sneak it back into the running order for you.
When you say such great feedback, were they just from the voices in your head?
No. People were phoning up saying, oh, Sam Fox, Touch Me, great song, really takes me back. Had a picture of her on my bedroom wall. It went down an absolute storm.
I know she did, but
demanding more.
But it's terrible, mate.
This is the night.
Oh, it's got worse.
This is the night. Touch me, touch me. Come on, how can you not like this? What is your beef with Sam Fox?
Because it's awful, mate.
Listen, she was great looking, fantastic to look at in the 80s, and also...
Yeah, we're not looking at her, we are listening to her.
She produced some really, really good 80s sounds.
What, there? And then followed up with...
No, I don't need to go through her back catalogue. That song just says it all. Touch Me, I Want Your Body. Great lyrics we can all relate to.
Just just recite the lyrics again.
Touch me, I want to feel your body. Ooh, touch me. What's wrong with that?
Thank you very much indeed, Justin.
Cheers.
It's not the song's not getting played, but you saying that will get played throughout the morning.
Okay. Thanks. Can I go now?
Yeah.
Okay. Cheers. Bye.
Unbelievable. Can you believe that, Kels?
That's unbelievable.
Catherine?
Incredible.
No?
Unbelievable.
Thank you. Kels?
It's unbelievable.
Catherine?
Unbelievable.
There we go. Thank you. What have you got for us in the papes? By the way, if you wanted to hear that song, tough. What have you got for us?
Just imagine what you heard over and over again.
Yeah, she's very big in India. I feel sorry for Sam Fox, Kelly.
Why?
Unbelievable.
No, I feel sorry for Sam Fox, Kelly.
Why?
She's got her knockers.
Yeah.
Guys, I love that.
What?
That joke.
Her knockers.
So, what's in the papers?
She raised a number of important points, though, didn't she, with that song? MP Nigel Mills asked just 4 questions in a lengthy session of the Commons Work and Pensions Committee, spending the rest of the time playing guess what?
Jet Set Willy.
No, Candy Crush on his iPad. He's got rumbled. Right, we've all done it at work. Done a little bit. I mean, I don't play Candy Crush. I hear it's highly addictive. But
why are you talking like you're at Abigail's party?
because I'm being confidential about it.
You're doing it.
We've all done something a little bit naughty at work, but
some naughtier than others.
He's supposed to be in charge of making quite important decisions, and apparently only raised a few questions because he was busy trying to get to the next level on his iPad. What's going on?
Here's something I've never played.
What?
The game of love. Ba-bum, ba-bum, bum, bum. Minecraft.
No.
Everyone...
It looks rubbish.
I don't know what it is. You build like a house or something, don't you?
You
And
have
you
an
live in
axe
it.
and you get some pigs. I think it's a farm thing.
No, it's not a farm thing.
It is for this farm.
Kels, what's Minecraft?
I don't know, mate.
OK. Is Second Life still going? Let me ask Kels. Kels, is Second Life still going?
I don't know, mate.
I had a little go on that, did you? It got quite pervy quite quickly.
It got very, very raunchy. I went for the... I went on... get this, Kels. I went on chat roulette for the first time the other day.
Did you? Isn't it weird?
For the first time. But no one would stay and talk to me. A picture would flash up and then they'd go. I didn't even have time to loosen my belt or anything.
They don't wait normally.
No, they're very harsh critics. If you've got low self-esteem, do not go on chat roulette. You feel terrible.
What are you doing?
Unbelievable.
It's not for us, that.
Kels?
Unbelievable.
Catherine?
It's unbelievable.
Thank you very much indeed. It isn't for us.
It's not for us. If we wanted to talk to strangers in our day, we'd just make a few calls.
Yeah. A few random calls. Here's the thing. You're talking about pantomime tickets. Mm-hmm. Bought some tickets to go to the pantomime.
Expensive, aren't they?
Flippin' heck, I've spent 119 quid on 4 tickets!
Snap!
Just to see Basil Brush and Ridian!
Oh.
Basil Brush and Ridian! Oh. I wish I could get Ridian!
Unbelievable.
She's got her knockers, but Basil Brush... I'm going to tell you who's... We're going to go and see a pantomime in Windsor, right? Because we got, a house there. So, Windsor Theatre. No, we got family that live there. My wife and kids. No, seriously, we've got property there. It's our house. No, right. So Sheila Ferguson.
She's got her knockers.
Well, Alan, mate, that's a bit rude.
No, Prince Charles was very fond of her.
Yeah.
She's from the 3 Degrees.
Famously.
Ridian.
Mm.
Harry Potter star Georgina Leonidas.
No. Let me have a look.
I don't know who that is. There's no picture of that person.
Oh.
And let's find it. Georgina... Let's find it. Oh, is it Leonidas?
Look how Kath's leaning over you, Ian. Like she's a geography teacher.
OK. And then there's Sally Geeson.
Yeah, no.
From the Carry On films. Oh, Sally Geeson's going to be there, is she? She was Sid James's daughter in Bless This House. Sally Geeson's going to be there, and I bet she looks exactly the same now as she did then. That was her then now. This is her.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, dear. Oh, well, people get old, don't they? £119. Basil Brush. Oh, and Postman Pat.
Have they aged at all?
No, they don't. That's the old thing.
Yeah.
109. Seriously, though, that is taking the...
Especially when half of it is the same old stuff every year.
Oh, no,
it isn't. Yes, it is.
Oh, no, it isn't.
What show is it?
Pantomime.
What?
It's like theatre for kids. It's kind of a traditional British thing.
Yeah, but don't they have a set show?
Yeah, it's called pantomime.
Yeah, but is it like Snow White?
No, it's Beauty and the Beast.
Who's the Beast? Geeson?
I've got no idea. All I know is I'm 119 quid down and my youngest probably will want to leave halfway through.
Yeah.
Flippin' unbelievable.
And you'll have to buy him an ice cream.
It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Incredible. 08459 455 555. Now, my iPod Shuffle did a very kind thing to me this weekend. It reminded me that Narina Palo exists.
Oh, yeah.
So I tweeted about her. She replied.
Mm.
And boy, oh boy, was I surprised to find out she's not an American woman.
She's from Jersey.
Isn't it?
New Jersey or somewhere.
No, Old Jersey.
Old Jersey.
So we'll have a bit of this.
More than luck to last the ride. It takes strength and it takes courage to survive. And did someone ever say to you, there's nothing bound in thought you cannot do? I've seen some things, but not all of them came true. So I don't want to be the last. Fire. which I find is just a home. But before she went, she left her son. He says, Dad, you're not the only one. Maybe love is just a requiem for the soul. So I don't wanna be the last, don't wanna be the first, don't wanna be alone with my thoughts tomorrow. Don't wanna be afraid, don't wanna look away. I'm learning to breathe. Don't wanna be the last, don't wanna be the first. I just need a hope and a light to follow, like sailors up to stars to find their way home. I'm learning to breathe on my own. Do you still feel small? Just a speck of life on an ocean wave. Does it pull us all? Does it pull us So I don't wanna be the last, don't wanna be the first, don't wanna be alone with my thoughts tomorrow. Don't wanna be afraid, don't wanna look away. I'm learning to breathe. Don't wanna be the last, don't wanna be the first. I just need a hope and a light to follow, like sailors up to stars to find their way home. I'm learning to breathe on my own. I'm learning to breathe on my
Narina Palo, who is not an American. I love Narina Palo. I've only got those two albums, Dear Mr. Postman and Come and Have a Look. I don't know what they're called. What are they called?
One's called Fires.
Yep.
That's what that song was from.
Yep.
The other one I'm not really sure.
Dear Mr. Postman.
Are you a 15-year-old girl from the 90s?
Oh, I used to be.
Touch me, touch me. I want to feel your body. Ooh, touch me.
Unbelievable. You pay his wages.
Travel news for beds, cards, and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Having a look at the motorways, and it's starting to get heavy on the M1 southbound between junction 11 for Dunstable Road and 9 for Redbourne. It's looking quite busy through there. On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's very slow between junction 21A for St Albans and 19 for Watford. And also having a look at the A405 North Orbital Road, that's looking very heavy around the M25 junction 21A roundabout as well. In Watford, having a look at the speed sensors, there's no delays at the moment on Hempstead Road through the roadworks, but there are stop-go boards in place at Langley Way that could cause some problems later on this morning. And in Bedford on the A6 Clapham Road, there's roadworks in place at Manton Lane. Having a look at the trains, there's no reports of any delays at the moment, but London Midland have a replacement bus service running between Watford Junction and St Albans Abbey for engineering works. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Horrible, horrible. Not you, Sammy. Liqueur chocolate. Oh, I'll explain it in a minute. 6:46. It is Monday, the 8th of December. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. There are new plans to put up the cost of parking in the centre of Milton Keynes. A gang of men have stolen around 60 trophies from Red Bull Racing in Tilbrook, and the family of a young girl who was knocked down in Luton say they will fight to get a pedestrian crossing put in where she died. Coming up, Chavvy Christmas cards. Offensive or just not funny? We'll find out more after the weather with Alina Jenkins.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning to you, Ian. It's a cold start to this Monday morning, but we've had enough of a breeze overnight for most places to escape a frost. Quite a cloudy morning. There'll be one or two showers feeding across, perhaps wintry in nature, but then they will quickly fade, and then some good spells of winter sunshine, but tempered all the while by quite a brisk northwesterly wind. A high today of 6 Celsius. Clear and cold tonight with a widespread frost, perhaps some local fog patches forming as well. Temperatures down to -2 Celsius, so a crisp, frosty start to Tuesday. Bright with some sunshine sunshine for a time before the cloud starts to build through the day. The winds will pick up too, so that's going to lend quite a raw feel to the day. A high of 8 Celsius, 46 degrees Fahrenheit. Outbreaks of rain overnight tomorrow should clear during Wednesday morning. And then Wednesday itself should be mainly dry but very windy with the risk of gales, and that's going to make it feel quite cold. And Ian, that's your forecast.
Every weekday from 12, Nick Coffer brings you
the wickedly funny Anne on Strictly Come Dancing. Do you know who the real Anne is?
great guests.
Yes, the real Anne is an amalgam of all those things. We're all multifaceted.
Jasper Carrot's career spans 5 decades.
And then you had to wear a bow tie and you had to do jokes about silly Irishmen and mother-in-laws.
John Cleese is eating his microphone, aren't you, John Cleese?
Great music.
Ow! In fact, I don't even think it had the horn part then.
Great conversations.
I always have said throughout my career, you get me on board, I'll give you 100%.
Have you still got it, Billy Ocean?
Well, the audience seems to think I have.
Nick Coffer, weekdays.
Nick's just sailing away into the distance there.
Whack, whack, whack. Bam, ba, ba.
Bits of music that mean things.
Yeah.
What? Graham?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Graham. Can you think of any bits of music that really mean something?
James Bond theme, I suppose.
Oh, well, no, you might do a little...
But what does it mean?
It means sexual violence. Doesn't it? Sexual aggression and unrequited violence.
Adrenaline pumping, I think is the word.
You said what, sorry?
Adrenaline pumping.
Adrenaline pumping. Talking of adrenaline pumping, I've got a session with a personal trainer tomorrow evening. I am...
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly, Graham. What a stupid thing to think I should be doing.
I wouldn't do it.
No, well, I am.
I would. I need someone to chase me with a stick.
Best of luck.
Who wants to chase Catherine with a stick? Anyone, guys? Graham, what have you called in for? It's not for bounce. It's for a serious point.
Yeah, you were saying about when you were a paperboy earlier.
I wasn't officially a paperboy. I delivered the free newspapers and I got paid halfpenny a paper.
Well,
semantics.
I used to live up in North Lincolnshire when I was about 12 or 13.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, it was in the back of beyond.
Yes.
And on my round, I did my round. I went back to the shop.
Yeah.
And it'd been chucking it down.
Yeah.
And when I got back, this chap stormed into the shop shouting at the manager. His paper was wet.
Oh dear.
And the manager said, "Graham," he said, what can you say about this?" I said, "Have you ever tried putting your paper through your door, sir?" He said, "Don't be ridiculous." I said, "I'm not being ridiculous." I said, "You've got a glass door," I said, "with a curtain down the front of it." I said, "It's so tight, you can't put the paper through."
Back chat.
And he stormed out the shop, and the following day when I went to put the paper in, it went straight through.
Well, Graham, I'm glad that was sorted out.
Those glass doors, eh?
Those glass doors with curtains behind, just. I'm always suspicious of people that have curtains behind doors.
Absolutely.
No, we used to have them in the 70s all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Not in 2014.
Well, we had wooden doors, you see, so they used to expand and contract.
No, don't put
a breeze through.
Or if you'd have a cranny with a curtain in front of it. Do you know what I mean?
It's just wrong. I still, to this day, would never ever go into a pub which has curtains pulled.
Oh,
because they're hiding something.
Well, you know what? That used to be code in the 70s and 80s.
Go on. Go on, you can tell me.
Well, it was a gay pub, didn't it?
Really?
Didn't it?
I don't know, I wasn't in pubs in the 70s.
Didn't you? Because I don't know. Do you still
Interesting, you know that.
Do you still get gay pubs?
Well, of course you do.
Well, like that are purely gay, because that's discriminatory, isn't it?
No, you look for the rainbow flag.
But that's a gay club.
No, gay pubs. Lots of gay pubs.
Oh, in fact, there's one around the corner, isn't it?
There is. Look, Luton's got a massive gay scene. Lots of gay clubs and pubs. Yeah.
Well, that's handy. Now, Justin.
Yeah.
We got the I don't know if you've seen. Oh, you've got it there, Catherine.
Yeah.
Tell them about the Chavy Christmas card.
Well, this is a Christmas card that's been featured in the Daily Mail and others, and all over the weekend. A Christmas card that mocks those who live on council estates has been withdrawn by Clinton Cards after only one day, following hundreds of complaints. This is according to the Mail's Lucy Osborne. The £2 card was described on the company's website as funny and great for sending at Christmas time, but the humour was lost on many who called it beyond offensive and disgusting. The card has a picture of Father Christmas and an image of a block of flats with the words 10 reasons why Santa Claus must live on a council estate. Do you want to hear the 10 reasons?
Yes, please, yeah.
1. He has a serial record for breaking and entering.
Good.
2, he uses various wild animals to pull his sleigh.
I don't get that
I
one.
don't get that.
Yep.
3, he only works once a year.
I get that one.
4, he's never actually been seen doing any work in his whole life.
Yep.
5, he drinks alcohol during working hours. 6, he barely leaves his home for fear of being recognised. 7, he wears the same out-of-fashion clothes every day and never washes them. 8, he uses loads of different names and aliases purely for his own gain. 9, he gets letters from a lot of people all demanding that he owes them things. And 10, he can get hold of all the latest designer gear but never pays a penny for it.
11, he's got plenty of ho-ho-hos. Guys,
I enjoyed that one.
Thank you.
Good.
That's the thing. I don't think this is particularly
12.
offensive.
I mean, what?
But it's not funny. It's just not funny, is it?
The reason they're not doing the ones that you would come up with because they're trying to be PC. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing wrong with that card.
Well, apart from it's not funny.
Well, some of it is quite funny.
Which bits?
What was the first one again? I like the first one.
He's a serial record for breaking and entering.
Yeah, I like that one. That's good.
Do you like it? Do you like any of the others, Just?
I like a few of them. I would buy that card.
There we go.
I would buy that as a laugh. It's a bit of a joke. Come on, guys, lighten up, for goodness sake.
I don't think it's offensive. I don't think it's offensive in the slight. I just don't think it's funny.
If you bought me a card that had the top 10 things about me taking the mickey out of me, I would put that on my mantelpiece with pride. I'll quite enjoy that.
Deals. Well, I think that can be mocked up. Don't worry. I know a gentleman who can print some cards for us. Now, Deals, take it to the streets, see if people are bothered by it or not.
I'll take it to the streets on one condition.
Yeah.
I need to get something off my chest a bit later on. Yeah, okay.
Saying that after the weekend, Justin, I'm worried.
No, it involves the X Factor.
Oh.
It involves what I believe could be a fix, and I'm furious about it. And Chetan Partat this morning, who's in the building, well, I had to calm him down. He was actually close to smashing up the office in fury about this.
He did seem very tense, didn't he?
Very, very tense.
You know why?
Later, I'm going to talk to you about the X Factor.
Justin, thank you very much indeed. We may not be able to go back to him. Have you got one more story?
There's this thing about, everyone was wearing Christmas jumpers for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And I've got a Christmas jumper, not a dead daft one, but a nice one.
Yep, I toyed with wearing mine today.
We'll wear them next week.
Yeah, why not?
Let's do that. But apparently now the Christmas jumper is not enough, and there's an advert article on page 13 of the Daily Mail talking about whole Christmas suits.
Hey.
In every office there is let's call him comedy tie guy.
The guy that wears Tasmanian devil ties and Homer Simpson socks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's probably got a musical snowman tie ready for next week.
And he's probably called Tony Fisher. Oh no, I said it out loud.
Not Tony.
No, I know. Yeah, I know.
We all know who it is.
Coffer.
He loves it, doesn't he?
He loves it. He loves it.
So what I'm saying to you is let's hide this newspaper, because if he sees these suits are available, he'll be wearing one.
Yes. Can you try and describe them? They're particularly unpleasant.
Well, one of them is red with, red with snowmen on it and holly, and the other one is blue and it's got kind of a Nordic design with reindeer on it. There's no need for either of them.
08459 455 555, and do give us your thoughts on that Christmas card. I don't think it's offensive. I think people are saying it's offensive are wrong. I just don't think it's very very funny. Take your calls after this. Here we go. This newspaper round story really has brought out the best in you. Murph has emailed in. Hi, Iain. I used to deliver the papers to Angela Rippon's house. Thanks.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 southbound, there's 2 lanes closed because of an accident just after junction 13 for Bedford. The accident involved 3 lorries there, and it's also looking very heavy. It's looking very heavy approaching that stretch on the speed sensors. Also looking very slow on the M1 southbound between junction 11 for Dunstable Road and the M1 junction 10 for the Luton Airport Spur Road as well. Checking the speed sensors on the M25 anti-clockwise, and it's looking slow now between junction 17 for Maple Cross and 16 for the M40. And there are still problems on the A406 eastbound at South Woodford. It's queuing between the Crooked Billet interchange and the M11 junction 4 for Woodford after an accident there. Having a look at the A1 southbound, it's building up around the Black Cat roundabout from the St Neots junction with the roadworks going on there. But having a look at the train departure boards, there's no reports of any delays there at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you so much, Samantha. And I mean that most sincerely. So, the top 10 reasons why Father Christmas lives on a council estate. Would that offend you as a Christmas card? It doesn't offend me. Are you offended by it? Can we think of 10 better reasons, please?
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock, I'm Lee Agnew. The headlines: plans to put up parking charges in Milton Keynes, Red Bull racing trophies stolen after break-in, and Hitchin Town fans fight to save their ground.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are new plans to put up the cost of parking in central Milton Keynes. It comes 4 years after the council reversed an unpopular decision to make hundreds of spaces more expensive. Linda Inoki from the lobby group Explain says cheaper parking is essential to entice shoppers to the new city.
Central Milton Keynes is the flagship of the regional economy. This area is set for massive growth, and having plenty of parking which is at the right price and in the right places is vital to keeping the city centre attractive.
A gang of men have stolen around 60 trophies from Red Bull Racing's base in Milton Keynes. They used a car to ram through the front entrance. Mark Gallagher, who was on the management team at Red Bull, says the break-in doesn't make sense.
It's difficult to imagine why anyone has done this. It is actually quite telling that police believe the cars had foreign number plates, because I suspect that foreigners who are not familiar with the Formula One industry and have maybe just seen some of the publicity photographs of the factory perhaps have imagined that these trophies have some enormous intrinsic value. The reality is they don't. So it shows a great lack of imagination and understanding about what they're actually stealing.
The family of a 3-year-old girl who was knocked down at Berry Park in Luton say they'll continue campaigning for the road layout to be changed. Maya Shahzad died after being hit by a bus in August. Her uncle Zulfikar believes Dunstable Road is dangerous and is raising money for an independent survey.
Where is there a safe crossing in Bury Park? The humps, there's no crossing, it doesn't show a crossing. In Bury Park, the drivers are so arrogant that they don't give you a. The pavements, why are they so large? Why is the road so narrow? Why is there a hump in the middle for no reason? As when a bus goes through, it either has to go halfway on the hump or it has to go close to the pavement. Which one is it to be?
A government task force has recommended that senior executives should be held accountable for unwanted phone calls from their businesses. The Nuisance Calls Task Force says watchdogs should consider disqualifying company directors if they ignore rules on sharing personal data. A protest has been staged by players and fans of Hitchin Town Football Club against plans to build on their ground. The Canaries could be relocated to a site off Stevenage Road if their Topfield ground is turned into a supermarket. Manager Mark Burke says their ground is a community asset that needs to be protected.
Well, hopefully we can talk some sense into the landlords and secure our position at Topfield and work possibly with them to create something here that is going to benefit the community.
In sport, Ronnie O'Sullivan has won the UK Snooker Championship at the Barbican Centre in York, beating Judd Trump by 10 frames to 9. And the weather will be generally dry with sunny spells but chilly. Top temperatures just 5 degrees Celsius, that's 41 degrees Fahrenheit. You can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3counties.
Opening the doors on the biggest advent calendar in beds, hearts and bucks. Let's see who's behind door number 8. Mike Naylor.
My favourite Christmas toy sounds incredibly old-fashioned now. Do you remember the old Chad Valley cinema projectors? It was a little kind of small plastic torch, really, that you could feed slides into, which I think were produced by Walt Disney. So on your wall, or a screen if you had one, you could project these still characters of Bambi or Mickey Mouse. Very childlike, really, and, as I say, fairly dated.
Building up to Christmas with BBC Three Counties Radio.
That's good. Morning, guys. Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Busy morning, busy morning. Parking peeves. Red Bull thieves. And chavvy sleeves. Jimmy Greaves.
No, he's not on it.
Jimmy Greaves is coming on.
No, he won't get up early enough.
He's... OK, anyway, that's that.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yes, it is. Kelly Betts is there.
Hello.
Catherine Boyle is there.
Yeah.
Whoa, hey. OK, you're right. Straight to the business. I like
Get on
it.
with it.
I saw a brilliant film this weekend that I'd forgotten how brilliant it was. No, it is so funny.
Is it Beulah's Day Off?
No.
Beulah's Day On?
No.
The sequel?
The Three Amigos.
Oh, God.
Oh, man, it was funny.
I've not seen it.
Oh, it's funny. Steve Martin, Chevy Chase and Martin Short.
Give me 3 reasons it's funny.
Steve Martin.
No.
Chevy Chase.
No.
Martin Short.
No.
It's funny. It's a little bit rude.
What happens in it to make it funny? Give me a line or something.
Look, it's a mail plane. How can you tell? And then they say something rude.
But what was it?
That's a good line, isn't it?
Yeah. Was it a plane delivering mail?
Yeah, that was the joke, Kelly. Well done. 08459 455 555. You don't like Martin Short, do you, Catherine?
No, I find him creepy. I don't like Moranis for the same reason.
OK, we need to have a chat about what's funny and what's not, because I just think this is not workable situation. Martin Short is funny. Rick Moranis is funny.
No. Little and weird.
They are funny as well. I'll give you that. Little and Weird, one of my favourite double acts. You don't hear from those guys anymore. Now, 3 years ago, plans to increase parking charges in Milton Keynes caused such a hullabaloo that the local council was forced to climb down. Well, in 2011, the decision to turn 700 standard spaces into premium parking was reversed, but now officials are at it again. At a meeting tonight, we will hear it's the best way to make the extra money needed to improve the parking infrastructure and meet customer demand. Well, Edith Bald is the Tory leader of MK Council. Morning, Edith.
Good morning, Ian.
What do you think of these plans?
Well, I don't support them at all. Putting up parking charges and bringing in £3 million. First of all, I don't believe the number. For many people, I think parking charges have reached a tipping point, and what's going to happen is they'll stay away from the centre rather than come and pay these extra charges. And it can't be a coincidence, I think, that Labour have got themselves into a heck of a mess this year with a £3 million overspend on the budget. I think if they'd managed the budget better, then at least some of these increases would not have been necessary, I have to say.
The standard tariff is going up from 40 pence an hour to 50 pence an hour. People won't object to that, will they?
Well, that brings in a supposedly £1.2 million. I think they might, actually. I'd say I think this tipping point is an important point. I've got lots of friends who are so incensed by parking charges going up, they just don't want to do it. And I just don't believe the numbers. When the Tories were in, we did put ours up at one point, but the sort of numbers we were looking at for an increase was £1 million. The Labour group are thinking they're going to get in £3 million. It's just not plausible. It really isn't.
Is your concern, Edith, that Milton Keynes, the shopping in Milton Keynes, which has been struggling a bit anyway, that this could just, kill it?
Well, it's not going to help, that's for sure. Retailers are definitely going to suffer if the shoppers don't come in. And then we've got the poor old shop staff who currently are entitled to a discount of 50% on parking on standard rate. Their discount's going to be cut by another 10%. Supposedly that's going to bring in $500,000 for the council. Of course, they're a captive audience. They need to work, and now they're going to have to pay an extra, I think it's over £50 a year, actually.
And I think it reduces, doesn't it? The percentage discount they get reduces, so it'll be 40% year one, 30% in year two, and 25% in year three if this plan goes through.
Yeah, and the next year's increase, currently they pay $360, it would become $432. So that's a heck of an increase. And I know last year, because I ran finance at the council last year, I know just how strongly these shop workers feel, and rightly so. They're only on fairly modest wages. They need to come to work. We want them to come to work, and expecting them to pay another £72 is below the belt, I think.
Is this just sour grapes, Edith? Because, of course, the Tories, if I've got this right, they did put up the parking charges at one point, didn't they?
We did. We also put them down. I mean, in 2011, the Lib Dems who run the council wanted to put them up, and as your commentators have said, when we came in, we reversed a lot of that. And then 2 years later, we had a modest increase on the standard rate.
How much was the increase when the Tories were in power?
We did 5p.
So you put out 5p to complain.
35, yeah.
To complain about an increase of 10 pence, though, seems a little churlish.
Well, I think this tipping point is really important, but the more important point is I simply don't believe the numbers. To me, it's not a coincidence, as I said, that we're looking at a £3 million overspend on the budget this year, and suddenly, miraculously, these parking charges go up and somehow manage to fill the gap, and I just don't believe it.
What suggestions have you got, Edith, for the council to raise money for improvements, then, if they don't put up the parking? What would you do?
Well, I don't have to answer those questions this year. I think it's important that Labour...
But what would you... Because it's easy to criticise it. It's very easy to say, this is a terrible idea, but surely you must have an alternative.
Well, we're just going into the budget period now. The first view we had of the budget was last week. So we'll be working on our response to that. But my first line of attack would not be to put up parking charges to a level where we depress the growth in the city centre. I've actually asked our Chief Executive, Carol Mills, have they done an economic impact assessment on the proposals? Because to me that seems like a fairly fundamental point, given the impact it could have on retailers and on shoppers, and they haven't done one yet.
With the greater respect, you would have a stronger argument if you could say, look, we don't think this will work and this will scare people away, but what we suggest is this.
Well,
because they need to raise money somewhere, don't they?
Well, they do, but a good starting point would be to manage this year's finances better. We never overrun in our budget. In fact, we brought in a surplus. This council's in a bit of a mess because this year they're running $3 million over at least. So they've got themselves into a bit of a pickle. But we will be putting together a full response on the budget over the next couple of months before it goes up to council in February.
I've just been shown some figures that when the Tories were in power, the cheaper areas in parking went from 30 to 40 pence, and the premium area went from 130 to 140. So that's where we are now. You're saying any extra increase would be inappropriate. Your increases are okay, but when someone else does it, it's not okay.
Well, you've got to look at things in and around. When we put our prices up, there had not been an increase for 3 years, and in fact we'd actually...
Well, there hasn't been an increase for 3 years now, has there?
2 years ago we did it. 2 years ago we did it.
Well, there's not been an increase for 2 years.
That's true.
So it was okay when you did it, but it's not okay now that Labour are doing it, and you don't have any alternatives.
We will come up with some alternatives, as I said, for the whole budget, but we've only just got the numbers, and February is when the council discusses the whole budget, and we'll have a full drains up then. But I'm clearly not in favour, from what you've heard this morning. I don't think it's good to put parking charges up at the minute when we're trying to encourage more retailers and more development to the city centre.
Edith, always good to talk to you. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much indeed. Edith Ball, Tory leader of Milton Keynes Council. Your thoughts on that, please, 08459 455 555. And thank you to Paul Scoynes for giving us the figures there while we were talking. Would have been nice to have had them before, but never mind. So it was okay when they were doing it, when they were putting it up, but now we've reached a tipping point. Would an extra 10 pence in parking really put you off going to shop in Milton Keynes? Well done to Scoinsy for getting those figures into us while we were doing the report. Would have been nice to have, I don't know, maybe have had them in advance or something.
Would have been.
Wouldn't it have been nice?
This is where we miss Paul Scoins when he goes off having babies.
Yeah, exactly. Never mind. It's only slightly frustrating. When's Scoins back?
Well,
hopefully
now. Sounded like he was outside. So unless it's one of those early morning feed situations or crying situations where you just have to put him in the pushchair.
Yeah, and maybe he's having a cheeky growler.
Pipe.
Are you eating?
Yeah, I've got a sore throat.
No, you haven't.
Someone's on the phone. It was probably Scoinsy. Hang on.
Okay, let's find out if that is actually Scoinsy. I think it is Scoinsy. Let's go to... Morning, Scoinsy.
All right.
Yeah. Whoa, someone's gone feral since they've been off for a month. You're the former political reporter at BBC Three Counties Radio. Does not start a phone conversation, I hope, with ministers, all right?
Well, it depends how well you know him, I suppose, doesn't it?
So, Ed Miliband's on the line.
All right.
David Cameron's on the line.
Evening.
Ed Balls is on the line.
In fairness, I wouldn't do that for him.
In fact, I know that you've got a very special relationship with Balls. You love Balls, don't you?
I love Balls.
Yeah. You can't get enough of Balls.
Balls are great. It's great.
Thanks for those stats. Said it would have been nice to have had it as part of the...
Well, I've only just started.
I'm not criticising you.
Well, you sort of...
No, I'm thanking you. I'm criticising whoever didn't put those figures in already.
Hey, that's all right. I'm back today.
Oh.
Oh.
That's great news.
Yeah.
OK. We've not really missed you.
I have.
What?
I've really missed him.
Well, I've missed his hardcore coffee. Mm-hmm. I've not missed his inane personality.
What?
His inappropriate sexual innuendo.
Oh.
And his weird, pervy face.
They're all the things I miss most.
Oi. Can he still hear me?
Scoinsy?
So I'll see you at 9.
Yeah.
Or Quado. How's the baby?
Yeah, good.
Still yours?
I believe so.
Excellent.
Haven't done a test, but...
I would...
Really?
Just to put your mind at ease. I did with both mine.
Mine wasn't really at unease.
Should be. It's the 21st century. Maybe I've watched too much Jeremy Kyle, I don't know, but I just...
It's, I think I need to go.
Bye!
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 southbound, there's 2 lanes closed just after junction 13 for Bedford. That's causing queues from junction 14 for Milton Keynes after an accident involving 3 lorries. On the A1 Great North Road, it's building up now between Tempsford and the Black Cat roundabout through the roadworks in place there. And in Cheshunt, on the A10 southbound, it's looking very slow at the moment between Great Cambridge Road and the M25 junction 25 for Enfield. Having a look at the train departure boards, there's no reports of any major delays at the moment. But on Chiltern Railway, there is a replacement bus service running between Oxford and Bicester Town. That's for the ongoing engineering works, and no other major delays showing up at the moment on the London Underground either. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Samantha. Sorting these flipping headphones out. Right, good morning, Vietnam. It's 7:16. It is Monday, the 8th of December already. Blimey. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Plans to put up the cost of parking in Milton Keynes are being met with opposition. A gang of men have stolen around 60 trophies from the base of Red Bull Racing in Tilbrook. And the family of a young girl who was knocked down in Luton say they'll fight to get a pedestrian crossing put in where she died. 08459 455 555.
Three Counties Radio.
Celebrate a year of amazing music moments
as we launch the first ever
BBC Music Awards. A night of incredible live performances,
including
Ed Sheeran,
Coldplay,
Paloma Faith, Take That,
and many more.
The BBC Music Awards.
Watch it live Thursday night from 8 on BBC One and BBC One HD.
I'm busy then. Or you could, I don't know, you could listen to the radio. I know we're supposed to be one BBC.
Kelly's doing it.
Oh, brilliant!
Yay!
I'll be watching that.
Yay!
That's yay!
She's wearing a fluorescent jacket and shepherding people in, but she's...
Yay! Are you going to be on the telly, Kelly? Smelly?
Say yes.
Welly?
Say yes.
Belly?
Say yes.
Helly?
Say yes.
She's miming that she can't say yes.
But she can't mime. I can't say.
She can't hear us, right? So, okay. So again, my beef is, why do we advertise television programmes on the radio? Why don't we say listen to the radio? Listen to the radio. I know we do say listen to the radio, but then we say, oh, yeah, well, also you might want to watch the telly. People know about telly.
Some people do both, you know.
No.
But a music awards show's a bit ears-centric, isn't it? You do need your ears for that.
Yeah, you need your ears for that, guys. And
you don't want to be watching Taylor Smith, whatever her name is, dropping it like it's hot while Ian's voice is going over the top. That would be completely counterproductive.
That would be... You will just confuse the mind. Yeah. It's like trying to tap your head and rub your belly at the same time.
Yeah, totally that.
Which is actually quite easy to do.
Yep.
OK. What?
Go on then.
Which hand do you do it with? There you go. Boom, 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 boom. Round.
We're both doing it. Can you do it on the side?
Tap, 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 tap.
Yeah, but your hand's going round.
Tap, tap, tap. There we go. Tap, 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 tap. Round down, tap, tap, tap. Easy. Next. What's the next thing? How did that thing used to work when you were a kid, right? And I would stand behind you, and you would close your eyes, and I would say, right, I'm tying some rope around you now. I'm going to tie some rope around you. That's it, nice and tight. And I'm going to pull the rope and pull it. And then the person would fall back.
I'd never done that.
Did you never do that? No. We used to do that all the time as kids. Oh. I believe it's called voodoo.
Oh, magic.
Or the thing where you push your arm against the door frame and then it would float.
Yes, I did that one.
How does that stuff work?
And the levitation with 2 fingers.
What?
Yeah, where you get a load of people standing around someone lying prone on the ground.
Yeah.
They put they try and lift them first of all with just 2 fingers each.
Yeah.
Can't lift them, too heavy.
Yeah.
Dead weight.
Yeah, of course, mate.
Then they do this little chant. She looks dead. She looks dead. Oh, she is dead. She is dead. And then 1, 2, 3, everyone does it, and they can lift you up with just 2 fingers.
I've never heard of that.
It's so weird.
Black Magic as kids, 08459 455 555. On something slightly more serious, if you know someone who regularly drinks and drives, Crime Stoppers wants you to report them. The charity received just under 6,000 such calls last year, 50 of them from Bedfordshire. So would you report your friends for drink driving? Justin Dealey's been asking people this morning.
I think I would, because I think that drink driving is now socially unacceptable, and I think that people who do drink and drive are a danger to the public, and therefore I think I would do that, yes.
So even if it was one of your closest friends, you would still do it?
Yes, I would, yeah. Because I think that the deaths and injuries caused by drink driving are a great concern.
I find it really interesting that you'd be prepared to lose a friendship. You feel that strongly about it. If that person found out it was you, that friendship would probably be lost, but you care more about other people. I find that really, really interesting.
Yeah, I think I feel very badly about it, but I think, you've got to have a social conscience about it, and also think of everybody, the whole of the public.
No, I wouldn't grass them up. I'd tell them not to drive. Something I wouldn't do.
Just not the done thing?
Don't think so, no.
No.
Why wouldn't you do it?
I don't know. I know there's other people in danger, but I just wouldn't call the police on my friends. I'd probably sit there and talk to them and be like, do you really think this is a good idea? But
it's because they're your friends, you want to protect them?
Yeah.
I wouldn't let them do it, Kath. I don't think. If someone was hammered, I wouldn't let them. I wouldn't be, because I don't drink. So I wouldn't let them do it.
No, of course you wouldn't.
I'd drive them back. It's mad, isn't it? Really, I don't see whether.
I only think of a situation where everyone is mullered, that no one steps in. But even so, don't you?
You get a cab, innit? You get a cab.
Yeah,
it's the one thing I don't understand why anybody would do it at all.
No, because it's part of your planning for your night out, isn't it? How am I going to get home? You don't take the car.
I tell you what, once when I was at college, 19 years old, 20 years old, and we did it. A friend of mine was drunk and she drove us home, and it was fine. It was a short distance. I felt so guilty before. I felt awful afterwards. That's the one time, and it's one of my great shameful moments. And I would never allow that situation to ever happen again. Terrible. I bought I'm all right. It'll be all right. I bought that nonsense.
Well, I've been in a car in Spain where I don't know, the rules are either different or no one checks them. And my friend drove us home, and it was only afterwards where I thought he was drinking all night.
Yeah. Well, join now. Your thoughts on this, please. Would you report a friend if you knew they'd been drink driving? 08459 455 555. Julia Hughes is regional manager for Crime Stoppers. Morning, Julia.
Good morning.
Why should we be calling you rather than the police?
I think we're very clear on the campaign we're trying to do. We're not targeting when you're sitting in a pub, you're next to someone that's drunk and is just about to get behind the wheel. That is very, very definitely a 999 call, and that's not what we're approaching here. We're really, just like you were just talking with your listeners just now, we're targeting people who regularly don't think this applies to them. They may be every night, maybe only once a week, are going out, but they just think, I really know these drink drive campaigns are awful, and we really know that we've got to stop these people doing it, but they don't see it applying to themselves.
Do these can these campaigns actually make a difference? Because I tend to think with these things, if people were gonna do this, they would report a friend anyway. They wouldn't kind of need a little nudge in the ribs.
One of your callers talked about social conscience, and I think that is the really difficult thing. Everyone has, like you were saying, everyone has the way that they would talk to people about it. I certainly would do the same thing as you. I would sit there and I would talk to someone about the fact that they have had too much to drink, and do they really think that they should be getting behind a wheel. But this is really people looking at themselves, and if this campaign makes one person go, actually someone could out there be phoning up anonymously to Crime Stoppers and saying that I'm doing this on a regular basis, maybe I need to change my habits, even that is a success for us. We'd rather prevent than anything else.
So, Julia, what process would that initiate? Because obviously they have to be caught doing it, don't they, for anything to happen?
They do. I mean, there's lots of programmes on TV at the moment, and they talk about getting in the car the following day after drinking, when people don't even consider that is something where they're over the limit. We're not targeting those people. We're not judging people for how much they drink. This is literally about those people who are getting behind the wheel, having drunk too much. And what they can do then is call the charity Crime Stoppers. We have an 0800 555 111 number, or they can go online and they can give that information to us completely anonymously. That allows them to be able to talk to their friends and families about their habits, about changing their habits, and if at that stage nothing happens, then they can call. And it might be that they can say, it's someone who regularly on a Saturday night is going down to the pub, this is a situation, or they are regularly drinking very heavily on a Saturday and then going to work the next morning.
So what will happen, though? So they ring you and they will get advice on how to talk to their friend, is that right?
No, we're not an advice service. We're an apolitical charity. We are literally here to give a service to the public where they can call in themselves, stay completely anonymous, but give the information on crime directly to our charity.
But I don't understand why this particular push, then. If they're ringing you, can you just take me through the practical steps that you would take? So someone rings you, then what does Crime Stoppers do?
We then pass that information. We sanitise it, which basically means we take any information out that could identify the caller. If perhaps by mistake you said my brother, that will be completely taken out. We wouldn't record the call. We don't say whether it's a man or woman that's called. We literally give the information, the key information, through to the police, and they then will act on it. Now, whether that is staying outside a pub when they know this is information to say that person is going to be drinking from this pub at a certain time, they might be there to actually stop that person. But that's for the police to actually control. We are a service to the public.
Julia, I appreciate your time this morning, and thank you for clarifying that. Julia Hughes, Regional Manager for Crime Stoppers. 08459 455 555 is the telephone. It's one of my... they've reduced the drinking limit in Scotland to just below a pint, I think. You're frowning at that.
Well, I just think people will always chance their arm. It's like when people... The rumour goes around that, the police won't prosecute you if you go slightly over the limit. I think that, you know what the rules are. Yeah. Don't do it. Why even have... Some people can't just have a pint.
Yeah. Alcoholics, isn't it?
Well... And people who are used to drinking, and drinking being associated with good times.
We talked about this last week with Jonathan, and I think it was on the back of the Scottish reduction in the drink thing. Well, yeah, but supposing I want to go out and have a few drinks, well, then don't drive, or then get a cab, or have someone who's going to drive for you. It's not a God-given right that you have to go out and have a load of... You should be allowed to have, a few glasses of wine and then drive home. Sure, if there's anything that impairs your judgment, then you shouldn't take the risk. It'll be interesting in 6 months to go back to Scotland and see if accident figures are down. That will be the test, wouldn't it? 08459 455 555. Lots to talk about this morning. Do we have any texts?
Yes.
Good.
The parking in Milton
Keynes... Oh, you're going to read them?
Do you want one?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I'll give you one from Darren in Luton. The parking in Milton Keynes near the Escape is far too expensive. I parked there yesterday and had to pay £8 to park for 5 hours. There's only 4 hour and 8 hour options on the machine. It's a rip-off, especially on a Sunday. I won't be going back to MK shopping area again.
Do they have in Milton Keynes, do they have where you can phone up and book and do the parking? Because they have those a lot in London. I've been in London a lot recently. And flipping heck, man, it always amazes me when you hear people complaining of an increase of 10 pence from 40 to 50 pence an hour. When you park in London, it can be like £4 an hour.
But there's a good alternative. Public transport's good enough in London,
Yeah,
isn't
you're
there?
absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. But they have this thing where you can phone up now and you pay for your parking over the phone. And with some of them, you can phone up to cancel the parking. So you're not saying, I'm going to be here for 2 hours. You phone up, the parking starts. When you get back to the car, you phone up and the parking stops. Beautiful. I'll have some of that, please.
Yeah, saves you looking for change as well.
In it. Oh, yeah, the change. And do you know what? I'm going to stop saying in it as well because I'm annoying myself.
David's got a question.
Hello, David.
Kick us into the next half hour.
OK.
Why don't the police patrol all pub car parks?
There's not enough police.
Not that many pubs these days.
No. 08459. I think we answered that. Well, that's the next hour sorted out. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 southbound, there's 2 lanes closed between junction 13 for Bedford, and it's causing... Well, they're at junction 13 for Bedford after an accident with 3 lorries and a car involved there. And that's causing queues from junction 14 for Milton Keynes. Having a look at the M40 towards London, it's very heavy between junction 5 for Stoke-on-Church and 4 for the High Wycombe Handy Cross roundabout. And on the A1M southbound, it's looking very busy now between junction 3 for St Albans and 2 for Welham Green. Having a look at the speed sensors on the A1 Great North Road, northbound, it's looking very slow between Station Road at Tempsford and the Black Cat roundabout through the roadworks. And in Long Street on Hartwell Road, we're hearing that the traffic lights aren't working on Hartwell Road just next to Park Road in the roadworks area, so approach that with care. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Lee Agnew. The headlines. There are new plans to put up the cost of parking in central Milton Keynes. It comes 4 years after the council reversed an unpopular decision to make hundreds of spaces more expensive. A gang of 6 men have stolen around 60 trophies from the Red Bull racing team's base in Milton Keynes after ramming down the front entrance. The raid in Tilbrook took place in the early hours of Saturday morning. And the family of a 3-year-old girl who was knocked down at Bury Park in Luton say they'll continue campaigning for the road layout to be changed. They believe proper pedestrian crossings could have saved Maya Shahzad's life. The weather will be generally dry with sunny spells but chilly, with top temperatures just 5 degrees Celsius. That's 41 degrees Fahrenheit.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Football first, and Wycombe Wanderers are out of the FA Cup after a 1-0 defeat to AFC Wimbledon.
It's got into the box, it's Rigg, he's through, first time shot, it's a goal for Wimbledon. Rigg calmly slotted the ball to the right-hand side of Matt Ingram, and it's in the back of the net. Franken caused all the damage, laid it off to Rigg. He didn't need asking twice. It's 1-0 to Wimbledon.
So AFC are through to the third round for the first time in their 12-year history. The MK Dons are out of the competition, but Luton face a replay after a 1-1 draw at Bury. And in the Premier League, West Ham moved to third in the table after a 3-1 victory over Swansea at Upton Park. Ronnie O'Sullivan survived a fight back from Judd Trump to win the UK Snooker Championship. His 5th title means he's level with Stephen Hendry in the all-time list, but one behind the record holder Steve Davis. And the 39-year-old hopes he can go from strength to strength.
Kind of had a resurgence working with Steve Peters, a fresh outlook maybe, and I've kind of found a bit of an appetite for the game. You know, if you find that consistent, the game comes easy more often, and then it's a joy to play. So for me, I'm starting to do that a lot more now. So even though I'm 39, I feel like, you know, I'm trying to make the most of this however long it lasts, you know.
Hertfordshire's Laura Trott won Great Britain's 4th gold of the Track World Cup in London with victory in the women's Omnium. It's her 2nd gold medal of the 3-day event.
I'm so happy. It's like it's a lucky charm or something. Obviously, for me, it's really nice because it is so close to my home and my family are here once again, so it's really nice to win in front of them.
And that's BBC Three Counties News and Sport. We've more at 8 o'clock.
Thank you, Lee. Kelly, could you get that clip? Because we both thought she said something. Can you pull that clip off?
Yep.
Can you try and get that? And we'll have a little... We both... Wait, did she just say what I think she just said?
No. She didn't know.
Well,
she was out of breath and she rolled her sentence together.
All right, mate. Just because I made
You don't do any sport. Tomorrow you'll be talking like that.
Tomorrow I've got my first session with my personal trainer. And boy, oh boy, it is going to be painful. But I will come in on Wednesday looking so buff. I'll be looking like Hulk Hogan.
Just to curb your expectations there, it might take more than a day.
Shut up, man. You wait.
You're going to feel the burn.
Going to lose this. I'm going to be able to breathe and run and feel energetic, and I'm going to be able to lift up a car. How can you get worse at snooker?
I find sobriety hinders my game.
Sorry?
The more I drink, the better I get at pool. And then, of course, you hit the wall. And you're rubbish again.
Yeah,
Same with darts.
If you hit the wall at darts, you're in big trouble. Because surely... I like a bit of snooker, right? But when snooker players get older, they get rubbisher. Steve Davis and Jimmy White are rubbish now. Stephen Hendry is rubbish now. And your man there, the eyebrow fella, the 147 eyebrow man, the... what was his name? Tony Rush. No, John Parrott. No, Bruce Grobbelaar. The snooker man.
With the eyebrows.
The one that I like. I met him once. You know.
What does it begin with?
His name.
Steve?
No!
John.
Barry.
The man!
Alan.
Jim Davison.
Stop being obtuse! The snooker fella that was just on the radio.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Thank you. He's saying he's 39 and he may not have many more...
Athlete.
Yeah, but... it's not athletics, is it? It's not down to stamina. It's down to just...
It's accuracy and eye work.
08459 455 555. Let's just have a clip of that young lady again.
Obviously, for me, it's really nice because it is so close to my home and my family are here once again. So
it's so close to that. Wow. Guys.
What sport is it?
I'm turning your microphone off before we all regret it. What was it? Bikes?
Bikes, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it is close then. Pat's in Houghton Regis. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, Ian.
Good morning. We'll have that in the podcast, please. What have you got for us, Pat?
Just to pull you up a little bit on something you said.
Go on.
You said you had a lift in a car and the driver had been drinking.
Yes.
And you said it was all right, it was only a short distance.
No, I realised as I was saying that, well done for pulling me up, Pat, I realised as I was saying that would have implied that drinking and driving short distances is fine. That was kind of my logic at the time, and I realised very shortly after that logic was flawed and hideously inaccurate.
Well, I actually, I do report people. Not if I see, I would report.
Don't report me. It was 22 years ago. Oh, okay, good. I thought it was a threat. Right.
I would report people if even if it was a friend if they were drinking. And on top of that, I have reported 2 people already in the last 2 weeks.
Have you?
Using the phone at the wheel, company cars, etc.
Oh, blimey.
And I do that all the time because, as you know, next year using the phone is going to be the biggest killer on our roads, according to motoring experts.
Oh, I didn't.
Driving.
I didn't know that.
Where's
that statistic from, Pat? I've not seen that.
Yeah, that comes from the DIA magazine I receive every month, and it's a very accurate one for driving instructors.
I'll have a little look at that then, if that figure.
Yeah,
we might do something on that.
Yeah.
So when you report people for using their phone when they're driving, who do you phone?
I phone the company.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously you pull over.
Well, I'm not driving sometimes at the time,
right,
and
okay.
I don't need to pull over and record it because I have a camera in my car as well.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what, Pat, I don't know, as I get older and as you get older, I find myself agreeing more and more with you, and that's always a concern. But I've been toying with the idea of getting one of those cameras. I had some cyclist give my car a wallop the other day because he said I cut him up, and I most definitely hadn't cut him up. I'd seen him and stopped a manoeuvre. I was well aware of his presence, and he gave my car a wallop, cheeky so-and-so.
Ian, the camera is well worth it. It really is. It pulls up a lot of bad driving, and I can actually show that to people I teach as well, what it's like not to get involved with someone like that that's coming past you.
Pat, have you ever realised that you've been a muppet on, by accident? Because sometimes there are those moments where someone gets really annoyed with you on the road and you're not quite sure why, and it's only afterwards you sort of unpick it and realise maybe you did something daft.
Yeah, I can say I've dropped a bit of concentration. You can't have 100% concentration every year. So, yeah, I've got some flaws, we all have. And you do get distracted sometimes.
Yeah.
And you do feel bad about it after. You think, why did I do that? And, it happens.
But you would, going back to the original story, Pat, you would have no problem in your best mate gets in the car or is going to get in the car and they've had too many beers, you would happily report them.
Yeah, because the way I see it is, if I didn't, and say a couple of weeks later, that same person had run over one of my family members, I'd be horrified.
Yeah.
Absolutely mortified.
Pat, thank you very much indeed. And thank you for pulling me up on that, me saying it was just a short distance. I was not being clear. I was not in any way suggesting that driving a short distance when you're boozed up is a good idea at all. Awful thing. Thing.
Mark has a cunning plan on the text.
Oh, go on, Mark.
I think that Crime Stoppers might have missed a trick.
Oh, yeah. It was a little bit confused. I've had a couple of people on Twitter saying that the lady from Crime Stoppers didn't quite seem to know what was going on, and I don't quite see the point. If you phone Crime Stoppers, you don't phone the police, you phone Crime Stoppers, they then tell the police. Well, that's slowing the process down, isn't it? Isn't it?
Surely. Because I don't believe that the police are going to go out looking for individual drink drivers.
No. I mean, they might. They do random. Sometimes they'll pull up in a car.
They might put a marker next to your number plate on the ANPR system or something like that, so that they'll pull you over. But I'm
going to pretend I know what the ANPR system is.
The automatic number plate recognition system.
I was pretending I knew what it was. So
now you know you don't have to pretend anymore.
I'm all right now.
Anyway, this is what Mark reckons. He says, why don't Crime Stoppers send a letter to the alleged drink driver warning them they're being watched, cheaper and probably more effective, and it won't put people off from giving information. Maybe the police should do that. Crime Stoppers should send the information to the police and the police can do that.
Good morning, Jane Fonda, if you're listening. 76, Wit Woo. Ladies over 70, that if the opportunity arose, you would. Jane Fonda, Joan Collins, Barbara Windsor.
Oh, no.
To name but three. Three lucky grandmothers out there.
Lucky?
The Christmas card that mocks council estates. I love this story. Because I don't think it's offensive. It's a Christmas card. 10 reasons why Santa Claus must live on a council estate. I'll do 3 of them at random. 1, he has a serial record for breaking and entering. Just didn't like that one. 2, he uses various wild animals to pull his sleigh. I don't get that one. And number 8, he uses loads of different names and aliases purely for his own gain.
Not really, though. He's Santa and Father Christmas?
St. Nick?
Really?
Papa Noel?
Yeah. Papa Shanga?
Yeah, I suppose.
Ridian?
They don't have him in Spain. They have the 3 kings.
That card is on our Facebook page if anybody wants to see it and comment.
On Twitter, some called for a boycott of the store. What, on Twitter? People were calling for boycotts? Wow, I've never come across that before. I tweeted the other day, right? The other night I tweeted, I'm really worn out. Because I was really worn out. I was so worn out. Spiritually, physically, emotionally, I was worn out, right? And this fella replied, miserable git, replied, "Oh, yeah, well, you can't be worn out. My friend's a doctor. He's only got another 29 hours to go on his shift. Easy media lifestyle or being a doctor."
You know what that is? Twitter top trumps. Is that what? The appropriate response is ding ding, you win.
No, I went. No, I bet I'm more worn out than your doctor friend. That's exactly what I said. Julia Hughes has just tweeted us.
Oh, good.
So that's good. Thank you, Julia. Anyway, this card.
But the card, OK, there are a lot of rubbish cards. I don't understand why this one. I mean, because there are a million sexist cards, for example. There'll be cards about, why women got small feet so they can get closer to the, sink at Christmas. They make it at Christmas, and it's the same joke over and over again.
Is that why they've got smaller feet? I just thought it's because they were generally smaller. Well, that makes sense.
What's a sink?
On Twitter, some called for a boycott of the store. Suzanne Williams wrote, "Living in social housing, Clinton cards thinks you're a scrounger and a criminal." Daryl Birch, 32, a computer programmer, said, "I was appalled. It is degrading and offensive. I certainly won't be going to Clinton's for my Christmas cards this year." Oh, grow up. First of all, Christmas cards are stupid anyway, but grow up. It's not degrading. It's not offensive. It's not funny. There are plenty of cards that aren't funny. 08459 455 555. Are you offended?
Here's something. People who live on council estates make jokes about scallies. Are they being degrading and offensive?
Grandfather of 2, Paul Thornbury, 66. He's a grandfather of 2 at 66. What does that say?
Well done. Productive.
"I've lived on a council estate most of my life. The card is disgusting. It's one big stereotype. We're not like that. No, you should put 'we are not all like that.'" My daughter told me about it. She was just as upset as I... I mean, seriously, guys. It's a Christmas card. It's not a very funny Christmas card. Get over it.
Whatever happened to people being not liking things and just going, oh, well,
we're
I'd
allowed
have to buy one.
We're allowed to make jokes about toffs, about millionaires. We're allowed to make jokes about wealthy people that talk like that.
But that's the new...
That's good, wasn't it, Kel?
That's the new chav, though, isn't it?
My horse.
But that's it, though. Toffs are the new chavs.
But we're not allowed to make jokes about people that live... We can make jokes about middle-class people. Bit boring. Middle-class people living in suburbia. But we can't do this kind of... I don't get it. 08459 455 555. Is anyone offended by this? Or, like me, do you think, what a load of old guff?
I've got a question.
Yeah, go on, Kath.
Has anyone out there ever stopped shopping somewhere because of a moral beef?
Yep.
Have you?
Yep.
Where?
When I lived in North London and my soon-to-be wife moved in with me, I had to walk around the local shops and say, right, we don't go in there, we don't go in there, and we're certainly not allowed to go in there. Why? I had self-imposed bans. One, because I had really rude service. Mm-hmm. One, because I didn't like what they'd done to the front of the shop.
Oh.
It caused a furore, and I didn't like what they'd done.
What they done to the front of the shop?
They'd done like a Gaudi-style front of shop
beautiful.
frontage. But they didn't have planning permission, mate. They did not have planning permission. And that annoyed me, and it wasn't beautiful. It was completely out of character with the rest of the shops.
Gosh.
So I complained, as did many other people. It was removed. But to prove a point, the guy just removed it and then didn't replace it with anything. So that shop was off the list.
Okay. Wow.
And another one, because I can't remember why. Right. But yeah, there's lots of places I wouldn't go to on principle.
That's why you don't live there anymore. Too much beef.
Yep, a lot of beef there. 08459 455 555. What places do you not go to for whatever reason? And is anybody really offended by this card?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There's still 2 lanes closed on the M1 southbound, just after junction 13 for Bedford, causing queues from junction 14 for Milton Keynes after an accident earlier on there. Also having a look at the M1 southbound, it's very slow between junction 11 for Dunstable Road and 9 for Redbourne, and it's looking very heavy as well next to there on the A5 High Street North. It's very busy around Church Street at the moment. In Long Street and Hartwell Road, that's traffic lights aren't working near Park Road. That's between Long Street and Hartwell. The temporary traffic lights there on the bend are out of order, so that's quite a hazard there to approach that with care. And having a look at the A1 southbound, it's queuing between the Kimbleton turnoff and the A421 Great Barford bypass around the roadworks at the Black Cat roundabout, so that is causing it to be very slow there at the moment. Having a look at the trains, there's no reports of any major delays at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Scott has just sent me a tweet about... Scott, is that true, or is that you trying to be funny about a shop that you don't go to? But do let me know. 7:46, Monday, the 8th of December. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. There's growing opposition against plans to put up the cost of parking in the centre of Milton Keynes. A gang of men have stolen around 60 trophies from the base of Red Bull Basing in Tilbrook, and a 78-year-old man has been attacked and badly injured by 3 teenagers while walking his dog at Wardown Park in Luton. Coming up, we'll take some of your calls. We may speak to Dealey as well in a little bit. Before that, let's get the weather. Here's Alina.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Ian, thank you. Cold start this morning. Fair amount of cloud too, which could bring 1 or 2 wintry showers. But by and large, a mostly dry day. And some spells of winter sunshine eventually coming through that cloud, but tempered all the while by quite a brisk northwesterly wind. A high today of 5 or 6 Celsius, up to 43 degrees Fahrenheit. Clear and cold overnight with a widespread frost as temperatures fall to -2 Celsius. So a crisp but bright start tomorrow. But it won't be long before the cloud starts to build, spoiling any sunshine that we have first thing. The winds will pick up as well. So it's going to feel quite raw tomorrow, and eventually we'll see some outbreaks of rain through the evening. But before that arrives, a high of 8 Celsius. And the rain should clear during the early hours of Wednesday morning to leave a bright but very windy day with the risk of gales. And that, once again, is going to make it feel quite cold. And Ian, that's your forecast.
I've been told that this tweet is genuine, so I can read it out. Scott, let me just get this. Scott says, I don't go to the Walt Disney store because Walt was a fascist. Gosh. 08459 455 555. Offensive cards making fun of people who live on council estates. And what places don't you go to because of your own self-imposed ban?
Every weekday morning,
You can book your place on the show now.
Jonathan Vernon Smith
Come on and get some help, get some assistance.
tackling your consumer problems.
They couldn't trace an account in any of the names or any of the addresses that were given.
For it to be running for 6 weeks and then for them to cut it all off again just doesn't make any sense.
The JVS show fights for your rights.
He came to me and asked if I could go and have a word with said bank.
I had an email from the bank to say that you'd been in touch with them, and the senior customs relations manager was most apologetic.
Thankfully, you managed to get your money back.
Yep, but that was due to, obviously, your station itself.
The JVS show, weekdays from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio. Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Just from Texas.
Yeah, go on, let's have some Texas.
The police do look out for named drivers that have been drinking and are about to drive. I've reported to the police before that this person is lashed. I haven't heard that for a while.
Yep.
And is driving out the car
I'll be
park.
too drunk to hear it.
The police came and pulled him, said Tony.
Was it what?
The police came and pulled him.
Okay.
Not like that.
Okay. Good for them.
Hey, morning crew. I saw a good old film yesterday, says Jay, just by the by.
The morning crew. Morning, Jay.
Planes, Trains and Automobiles, Steve Martin
Oh.
and John Candy. This is another film to go in the top 10 classics.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm reading a book about Martin Short. He mentioned Steve Martin a lot. And that's why I watched The Three Amigos yesterday. And Planes, Trains and Automobiles is my next on the list to watch.
I take it they get on. They work together enough.
Yeah. They love each other. I don't think Marty Short is in Planes, Trains and Automobiles. I remember seeing that film at the cinema and not finding it funny. I think I'd enjoy it a lot more now. So, yes, I'm going to watch that this week. Thank you.
Tony has a moral objection to a shop. He won't go in. I will not go into a Mackie D. In fact, it's not really a moral objection. It's more of a social thing. I hate them, full of lazy people who can't be bothered to cook or dispose of their rubbish. Lazy chavs. With a double F.
He's talking about the customers, not the people that work there, who can be bothered to cook. That's their job. And they are very good at clearing up their rubbish outside the store.
Yeah, Tony.
And they do great burgers and great breakfasts.
Other places are available, but we are talking about one in particular.
McDonald's is the best. Anything else?
Yeah, David in Puckeridge. A question. One question, in fact. One question. CMK, Centra Milton Keynes Christmas display this year.
Oh.
What's happened?
Oh, it's a bit rubbish, isn't it?
I've heard.
Yeah.
Not seen.
Maybe we'll send someone down there today to have a look.
Maybe.
Or maybe not.
Maybe someone's been and can tell us.
Thanks very much indeed. 08459 455 555. Now, hundreds of people joined a protest march through Hitchin at the weekend as part of the campaign to save the town's football ground. Hitchin Town Football Club faces relocation to a site off the Stevenage Road if its top field ground is turned into a supermarket. Well, these fans gave us their reaction.
Say top field! Say top field!
Well, I run a under-17s team. That's partly why I'm here. If the club does move out of the town centre, I think it'll kill it. I can't see people travelling out that far out to go and watch them every week. And obviously, if the revenue goes down, then the club will go, won't it? And grassroots football as well.
This has been here nearly 150 years. Where's the money going to go? It won't come here. I just think it's got to be stopped, and stop it now, somehow.
Dreadful for the town. We have enough supermarkets already. It'll be awful for the local shops, local butchers, bakers. They're all closed down. It's just not a good idea at all.
Well, that was some upset fans. In a moment, we'll hear from Mike Clark, who chairs Hitchin Forum, a group that looks after the interests of the town. But first of all, we can speak to Hitchin Town's manager, Mark Burke. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning all.
How supportive were people on Saturday?
Oh, it was a fantastic day. I think we had, probably in the march, we probably had nearly 2,000 people. And at the game itself, we had 1,600, and just everybody was supporting the whole cause.
Tell us what the problem is with relocating to an alternative site.
Well, it's a couple of things, really. From the football club's perspective, we don't want to be pushed out of town to a site that is on Greenbelt, so there's an environmental issue there. Also, we're out of the town centre, which is the heartbeat of the community, and that's where we want to be. It's so easy for access for the local fans. And the other part is the town centre itself and the local businesses and the impact that the supermarket would have on them.
Now, the site is owned by Cow Commoners Trust. Is that right?
Yes, it's a trust called the Hitchin Cow Commoners. I think there's 8 trustees who have decided to make this decision.
And do you think that they've kind of sold you down the river?
Well, we've had absolutely no consultation at all. They just one day they turned up and said, "This is what we're doing," and it's a ridiculous situation, to be honest with you.
I mean, having 2,000 people turn up at a protest is great, and we've spoken before, and we know there is a lot of community interest in keeping things where they are, but I guess when money's involved, and this could be potentially millions of pounds, is it really going to have an impact on the decision making?
Well, as they say, money talks, I suppose. There is a lot of money, but I think that, as was demonstrated on Saturday, the supermarket's not the right option, or not the option that is wanted by the football club or the community itself. Money talks, but what's right, what's morally right, and what do people actually want?
Mark, stay there. I'll bring Mike Clark, who chairs Hitchin Forum, into the conversation. Morning, Mike. What do you think? What are your views on the protest?
I think it was brilliant. I mean, as I said, there were 2,000 people, many of them football supporters, but what impressed me was the number of people who were there who don't particularly go to football matches but just feel this is a wrong decision for Hitchin. They feel that the Cow Commoners have made the decision without actually consulting people and asking what's required. They've just made a decision and decided the football club could do just as well outside of town in a location which many would say is just unsuitable.
Why do you think it's unsuitable, this new suggested location, Mike?
It's out of town. I think the football club attracts a lot of people who walk to the town every Saturday. We saw that the past Saturday. And it gets a lot of support that way, and so it becomes a bit of a hub, part of the community. Putting it out of town, people got to drive there. It's not an easy place to walk to. It's on a busy road into Hitchin, and it's on Greenbelt. And there are lots of arguments about not building on Greenbelt. And I think the only advantage of it would be that they say they would put new stands and new facilities. But actually, if they gave the football club a longer lease, they developed a better business plan with a vision which would be possible with a 25-year lease, then a lot more could be done on Topfield itself. So I think that's the way to go.
Again, as I said to Mark, Mike, it comes down to money, and this site is worth a fortune to these people if they, sell it or use it for another purpose. Do you think they're really going to listen?
Well, it's a transfer issue. I don't think the Cow Commoners in themselves will make money from this, or as a trust. But it's a swap which will make money for a developer, possibly for Tesco or Aldi or whoever else might be attracted on there. But it's not money that will come into the town. And as Mark said, if anything, it will do damage to the finances of the town in that it will have a detrimental effect on the high street and a number of shops around town.
Would create jobs, wouldn't it?
Well, it would lose jobs in other places, and that's one of the balances with any retail development. If you ask Hitchin Initiative and all the businesses in town, they could see empty shops and people losing out in that way, and making Hitchin basically a less attractive place to be, which also costs money.
Mark, what happens next? How does this protest continue?
I think... sorry, is that me?
Yeah, go on, Mark.
Yeah, I think we just keep finding this unity together and keep fighting our corner and possibly come up with our own plans of what we'd like to do at Topfield and consult everybody and see what they would like to see there.
Mark, keep in touch and let us know how it goes.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much for your time, Mark Burke, who is Hitchin Town's manager, and Mike Clark, who chairs Hitchin Forum. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. We put on Facebook, didn't we, this so-called offensive card, which is mocking... Well, it's supposed to be mocking working-class people who live on council estates, really, but I don't think it's offensive. Oh, dear. Carol says it's not funny and not really anything to do with Christmas. Maybe the person who designed them needs to find the true meaning of Christmas. Anne-Marie says, I worked at Clinton's. I left on Saturday and we didn't have this card in store. Must have been online only. I think it was. And Drake says it's like an abridged version of the Daily Mail. No, I don't think... No one seems to be that offended by it. I don't think you can be offended by it, really.
It's like 10 weak jokes, isn't it? That's all it is. Phil in Baldock says people being offended on behalf of others is more offensive than a rubbish, unfunny card.
Yeah.
I think that's the general feeling, isn't it?
Pretty much sums it all up, doesn't it? I'm disappointed no one's called in with songs that mean things. Da-da-da-da. Time to go home.
Well, it's because you phrased it wrong. It's not a song, is it?
Music.
It's like a snatch of music.
OK. Snatches that mean things, then.
Yeah. Meaningful snatches.
Time to go home. Mm-hmm. Have you got lyrics to the windows closing down?
No.
Have you got lyrics to the windows closing down, Kels?
Time to go home.
Yeah, my lyrics. Who wrote that music? Who wrote that music? Who wrote that music?
Steve Windows.
No.
Barry Windows.
Brian Eno.
Oh, close.
Yeah.
I've got a fact about some music that everyone's familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
Or thought they were. You know, diddle-da, diddle-da, diddle-da.
Nokia.
Yeah, do you know what that means? It's Morse code for connecting.
No, it's not. It's not.
Wow, that's great if it is.
It's not more. It's great if it is, but it isn't.
It's true.
Music that...
I've got one.
Meaningful snatches. Yes, Kelly, have you got a meaningful snatch?
When Kath walks into the office.
Yeah.
Bow, chicka, wow, wow.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M1 southbound still has 2 lanes closed just after junction 13 for Bedford, and those queues are still reaching junction 14 for Milton Keynes after an accident involving 3 lorries and a car, and it's being recovered at the moment. On the M1 northbound, it's starting to look very heavy now between junction 12 for Flitwick and 13 for Bedford, while people slow down to look at the accident in the opposite carriageway. And the M25 anti-clockwise, it's queuing between junction 21A for St Albans and 15 for the M4 at the moment. In Amersham on Gore Hill, it's looking very heavy on the speed sensors between the A413 and the A40 London Road, and in Marston Mauritania on the A421 southbound, it's very slow between Beancroft Road and the M1 junction 13 for Bedford. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
So bits of music that mean things too. That mean things. I mean, something spooky's happening, yeah?
Obviously, for me, it's really nice because it is so close to my home and
Sorry?
my family are here once again, so...
Yep.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Lee Agnew. The headlines. Plans to put up parking charges in Milton Keynes. A pensioner seriously injured after a robbery in Luton. And Red Bull racing trophies stolen from Tilbrook.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are new plans to put up the cost of parking in central Milton Keynes. It comes 4 years after the council reversed an unpopular decision to make spaces more expensive. Edith Ball, the leader of the Conservative group in Milton Keynes, says she's opposed to the rise.
My first line of attack would not be to put up parking charges to a level where we depress the growth in the city centre. Yeah. I don't think it's good to put parking charges up at the minute when we're trying to encourage more retailers and more development to the city centre.
A pensioner's been attacked and badly injured while walking his dog at Wardown Park in Luton. The 78-year-old's been left with a fractured jaw and a bleed to the brain. Danny Bailey reports.
The man was walking near the lake on Saturday afternoon when he was attacked by 3 teenagers. The offenders are all described as Asian, and one was skinny with long hair on top and short on the side. They were all believed to be aged between 15 and 17 years old. The police believe they may have been in the park for up to an hour before the attack.
A gang of men have stolen around 60 trophies from Red Bull Racing's base in Milton Keynes. They used a car to ram through the front entrance. Mark Gallagher, who was on the management team at Red Bull, says only those closely connected with the team can understand the significance of the Robbers' Hall.
Any professional sports organisation or person who wins a medal or a trophy, it's what it means to you because you know what has gone into making that possible. And, of course, only a very small proportion of your sporting life involves winning. Most of it is just sheer hard graft and work, and particularly for people working in Milton Keynes at the Red Bull factory who've been responsible for the success that the team has achieved in recent years.
The family of a 3-year-old girl who was knocked down at Berry Park in Luton say they'll continue campaigning for the road layout to be changed. Maya Shahzad died after being hit by a bus in August. Despite officials saying it played no part in her death, her mother Shazia believes a better road system with pedestrian crossings could have saved her life.
She's always going to be part of me, but what I'm going to say, there's no safety in Berry Park. I'm not going to let this happen to anybody else's child. What I've lost, I don't want no mother or father or family to go through what we're going through.
A protest has been staged by players and fans of Hitchin Town Football Club against plans to build on their ground. The Canaries could be relocated to a site off Stevenage Road if their Topfield ground is turned into a supermarket. Ronnie O'Sullivan has won the UK Snooker Championship, beating Judd Trump by 10 frames to 9. And the weather will be generally dry with sunny spells but chilly, with top temperatures just 5 degrees Celsius. That's 41 degrees Fahrenheit. You can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/Three Counties.
It is so close to my home. And
Today on BBC Three Counties Radio.
From 9.
The JVS Show.
With the big phone-in, the hottest topic of the day and your consumer problems.
From 12.
Nick Coffer.
Colourful local guests with great stories to tell and fantastic music for your afternoon.
From 3.
Roberto Peroni.
I'm here with a roundup of the day's news, the latest travel and your stories.
From 6.
Three Counties Sport.
With a look back at the weekend's action and taking a look at the grassroots sport across Beds, Herts and Bucks.
Today on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. 4 minutes past 8. It's Monday. Oh, it's nearly Christmas now, isn't it? Bought a Christmas tree yesterday. Lots to talk about this morning, including, are you offended by a card that seems to mock people who live on council estates? Increase in parking fees? Bits of music that mean things to you? And what shops do you not go to anymore because of your own self-imposed ban? I can't imagine there are any places you don't go to, Catherine.
No, I'm everywhere, me.
Yeah, this is well.
I have very low moral objections to shops.
There are places, if they cross me, I will not go into them again. So that's their problem.
I don't really have those encounters. You seem to
I
have
do
them
all the time. Yeah, I do.
I know.
Sorry? 08459 455 555.
Across Beds, Herts and Bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties.
Albert's on the line. Good morning, Albert.
Morning, Ian.
Oh, blimey. Morning.
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 I was good morning. I was going to morning.
Good morning, Albert.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
Okay.
I was going to talk to you about shops.
Well, you still can.
Okay. Shops that I won't go into. There's one where I live. I live in St Albans now because I'm quite posh.
Oh, dear. Really? Gosh.
Yes, and there's a shop that I won't go into because they have lied, they have misled me as a member of the public.
Oh, yeah.
I won't give the name of the shop.
No.
What I can say is that they sell food and drink.
Okay.
That narrows it down for you.
Yes.
And I went in there when they opened because it looked nice out the front, and I ordered a sandwich, right?
Yeah.
And they said it was made with artisan bread. Well,
yes.
I couldn't see an artisan anywhere near the kitchen. I looked. There was no one making it. There was no rustic people, no cultural people.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm not having this.
No.
So I ordered just a cuppa instead.
Yeah.
And according to the menu, right, Guatemalan coffee beans sourced from the foothills of the Fitaconga district. Well,
yeah.
I've seen this guy, and he was buying instant from Morrison's.
Flipping heck. Outrageous.
Other supermarkets are available. But I won't say the brand of the advert that the coffee was made of, right? But it was basically a middle-aged couple who failed to get off with each other.
Thank you, Albert, for being so vague in your descriptions.
You're welcome.
Ta-ta.
I think they did in the end, actually.
They did in the end, yeah.
Definitely.
Tony Head.
Yeah.
And the woman.
And, yeah.
Good for them.
Coffee, brings people together.
Doesn't it, eh? Back in 2011, there was a huge row when Milton Keynes Council tried to increase parking charges, but 3 years later, they're trying it again. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Putting a bit of lippy on?
No, it's a pen.
What kind of pen? A lippy pen?
Just get on with it!
OK. What are you doing? Is it an EpiPen? It better be an EpiPen.
Go away.
Are you putting makeup on during my show?
Not.
Well, what is that pen? Is it women's...
It's a lip balm.
that's coloured and looks sexy.
Do you want some?
No, thanks. Back in 2011, there was a huge row where Milton Keynes Council tried to increase parking charges. 3 years later, they're trying again. Last time, there was such a furore that officials had to reverse their decision, changing 700 premium spaces back to standard rate. Well, this time the council says that without future investment in the parking infrastructure, it runs the risk of not being responsive to customer demand. We can speak now to Melanie Beck, who represents businesses as chair of the Milton Keynes Centre Management. Morning, Melanie. What do you think about these plans?
I think they're pretty outrageous, but we need to know more about what they're going to do with the money when they've raised it, if they get it through.
An increase in the standard parking cost from 40p to 50p. Is that really outrageous?
I think it's if you look at the whole piece that's being put forward in the budget. So it's not just how each piece goes up, but as you've already said, 3 years ago we faced this and parking went up. At that time I worked in the retail offer within the city, and we saw a decrease in the number of people that came to the city and the length of time they stayed in the city because of parking. The other issue that we have in Milton Keynes is that you have to decide when you arrive in Milton Keynes how long you're going to stay, unlike other cities where you pay when you leave. So there's lots of factors around this that need to be considered, but you also have to look at, as businesses, we want people to be able to park easily, and we want them to be able to feel as though they're getting that at a fair cost.
The council says that it does want to invest in things like paying as you leave the parking, which would improve things, wouldn't it? And I suppose they need to get the money somewhere to pay for those things.
Well, that's what we're being told, is that this hike in the cost of parking, again, as I said, 3 years on from one previously where they took a lot of free spaces away and made them paid. We're now facing another round, but what they have said is that they will use this money in order to generate short-term parking while they come up with a long-term plan. Now, that sounds good news if we are able to find a long-term solution, not only for business but also for visitors coming into Milton Keynes. Edith Ball just said in an earlier interview with you that it is very, very important for us to maintain the economy within Milton Keynes and to see investment in Milton Keynes. And obviously we have to make sure that all of these things that are being done will ensure that we protect that.
I guess another point that Edith mentioned was that people who work in the area, employee parking discounts will be reduced over time, won't they?
Parking discounts, that's why I said at the beginning, it's the whole piece. They're intending to reduce the subsidy on permits, and therefore the cost all the way around for business as well as people coming into the city is going to increase. So people who have to go every day because it is their work are being hit time and time again in their pocket. We don't have enough short-term standard parking bays for people who have to be there all day, and people, particularly mothers who come in after the school run, cannot find a standard base, who are having to pay parking premium, and that's going up as well, plus the permits that you can only use in standard bays, the subsidy on those are going. So everything is being hit in order to generate this money, in order to create more temporary parking for a longer-term plan on parking. Now, that's great if they're coming up with a longer-term plan, and that isn't something that's 10 years away. We have to make sure that whatever it is that they're intending to do with this increase in money, they actually deliver on, and it isn't just another revenue stream for another 2,000 spaces.
Melanie, I appreciate your time. I'm sure we'll speak about this again. Thank you very much indeed. Melanie Beck represents businesses, chair of the Milton Keynes Centre Management.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yeah. Nice cup of coffee.
Cheers.
You're welcome. Kathy, you're not going to have any coffee?
No, I'm going to hang on. It's a bit hot for me.
Oh.
Sore throat.
You haven't got a sore throat.
I have.
The first you've said about it was an hour ago when I caught you having a sweetie. Now you've been putting lipstick on. You've been putting lippy on, isn't it?
It's good for a sore throat.
No, it's not. It doesn't help anything.
Sore throat, dry lips.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yeah, I can. I got to snip the finger as well.
On FM, AM, online and digital radio.
This is Iain Lee.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
The joke finger.
A joke. For goodness sakes, Catherine, it's Philip Seymour Hoffman all over again.
We have a fake severed finger that we've got, and it goes in people's pockets and apparently on top of people's drinks.
There we go. That was the finger that was indeed.
That was a good one.
Sounds like this.
There we go. That was a really good one.
I didn't want her to realise that it was resting on her cuff until she drank it.
Yeah, that taught her a lesson too, didn't it? That taught her a lesson.
But guess where I'm going to stick this? You'll never
Here we
guess.
go. This is good. This is good. I can dig this. I fancy one of these.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling depressed or lonely? Yeah, always. It's my life. Fear not, for a charity has come up with a rather unusual cure. Eating a cheese fondue.
Huh?
The Helping Hand hotline? The Helping Hand hotline noticed a surge in depressed callers as the weather grew colder and colder. And my nose is running. Sorry, this is what's confusing.
Do you want a tissue?
No, I've got a hanky.
Oh.
A hanky?
That is great.
Wow.
What?
Wow, a hanky.
This is fairly clean. It's only a few days old, and I've not used it on my boys. Front or back. The Helping Hand hotline noticed a surge in depressed callers as the weather grew colder and the days got shorter, so decided to compile a list of mood-boosting tips. It recommends fondue because Swiss cheese is particularly rich in vitamin blah, 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 blah. It's just because fondue's good. I would love a fondue. If I went home today and there was a fondue waiting for me, melted cheese, bits of stale bread.
Do you mean a fondue?
No, a fondue.
Oh.
It's also a good source. It's also a good source of zinc.
Can't you read?
I don't know, mate.
What's the hotline number?
Yeah, I'm not giving you that. Which experts say could improve mood, but crucially, fondue tends to be a group meal shared with friends. Get knotted!
So that's going to remind the depressed, lonely person that they've got a lot of cheese there and they're going to have to eat it all by themselves because they've got no mates.
Oh, hang on a minute. This hotline, other suggestions are rubbish. Among the hotline's other tips to beat the blues were wearing bright colours and laughing more.
So Timmy Mallett's the happiest man in the world.
He is, because his pictures sell for about £15,000. He's an artist, and his pictures sell for £15,000.
How much?
£15,000.
How much?
Unbelievable. A study from the University of Sussex Mind Lab. I'm just going into the Mind Lab.
That sounds great.
Do you know what, guys? I think it's time for me to leave this room. I'm going to enter the Mind Lab.
Has he got loads of brains in jars? Talking.
Coming up next on Radio 4, it's the Mind Lab with Iain Lee. This week, they look at fondue.
That will never happen. No. You will never be on Radio 4.
Last week!
Again.
They found that blue and green made men feel happier, while blue, purple and orange raised women's spirits. Laughing, meanwhile, raises level of endorphins. In fact, even the expectations of something funny produces a natural high. So, not Michael McIntyre DVDs, then.
But fake laughing...
who the hell is
fun. I do it.
Here we go. Klaus Rucci.
It really makes me happy.
Klaus Rucci.
Let's do it for the next few
Klaus, will you please? Klaus Rucci added, people should give their soul a little... That's racist. People should give their soul a little holiday and they will see how their energy levels are replenished. So, we should all give our souls a little holiday and watch our energy levels be replenished. Shall we link our souls together? Guys?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There's still problems on the M1 southbound. 2 lanes are closed just after junction 13 for Bedford, and it's causing queues to just after junction 14 for Milton Keynes. Those queues are back halfway between junction 14 and 15. On the M1 northbound between junction 12 for Flitwick and 13 for Bedford as well, it's also looking very slow with people slowing down to look at the accident on the opposite carriageway. And also on the A421 southbound in Marston and Mauritane, it's making it very slow between the Beancroft Road and the M1 junction 13 as people are trying to avoid the M1 southbound. On the A1 southbound, it's looking like it's queuing very heavily between the Kimbleton turnoff around the Black Cat roundabout where the roadworks are, and in North Watford, having a look at the speed sensors on the Northwestern Avenue, it's very slow southbound around the Dome roundabout. On the trains, no reports of any major problems at the moment, but there's a replacement bus service running on London Midland services between Watford Junction and St Albans Abbey, and that's for engineering works going on until...
Is it roadworks or engineering works?
Well, it's the train, so it's engineering works. Samantha Breath, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thanks, Samantha. 8:17, Monday, the 8th of December. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Plans to put up the cost of parking in central Milton Keynes are being met with opposition. A gang of men have stolen around 60 trophies from the base of Red Bull Racing in Tilbrook, and a 78-year-old man has been badly injured by 3 teenagers while walking his dog at Wardown Park in Luton.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Jonathan Vernon Smith.
Hello.
Little boy blue.
Good morning.
Still a bit croaky?
Oh yes, well, just a little morning catarrh.
Oh, very nice. How glamorous. You're looking a bit ruddy today.
Am I?
Yeah.
Well, I spent a lot of time in the garden yesterday.
Oh.
Leaf blowing.
Oh.
Have you got a leaf blower?
Oh, it's an actual thing. No, I haven't. No, I don't like the garden. I don't go in the garden. I don't enjoy it. I don't want to have it. Bye.
Oh. Well, I was doing my leaves, and they just keep coming, don't they, really?
Well, yeah. It's autumn and winter.
You've never known anything like it. I did a bit of leaf blowing. By the afternoon, I had to go out there and do some more.
But where did you blow them to?
Well, no, you blow them into a pile, and then you suck them up. And then
so you spent the entire weekend blowing and sucking?
I hoovered up my leaves.
Wow.
And... yeah, that's what I did yesterday. Filled my my green wheelie bin. I had to jump on it to get them all in.
Gosh.
So many leaves.
Isn't that marvellous?
Just full of leaves.
Isn't that wonderful?
Have you not got any leaves in your garden?
You've got loads of leaves. I couldn't care less. They'll rot, they'll decompose.
So you just leave them?
Or my wife does it. I hate gardening. I hate it.
Now we get to the truth of it.
My wife does the gardening, yeah.
You can't just leave leaves. They ruin everything. Ruin your lawn and everything.
Honestly, I couldn't care less.
Don't care?
I like looking at the garden.
Yeah.
I like the fact we have a garden. Here's something. I am never mowing the lawn ever again as long as both shall live.
What?
I hate mowing the lawn.
I love it.
Oh, for goodness sakes. It's the worst job in the world.
Have you got a nice petrol mower?
No.
Oh.
No, we've got what do they call it? Fly mow.
Oh, yeah, that's why you don't like it. They're boring. You need to get yourself a nice petrol mower, a cylinder mower.
Oh, it sounds awful.
Get it, then you have your whole process of starting it up.
Oh, for goodness sakes, no.
And then sometimes it won't work.
Good.
You have to get the mower man in.
No.
And then you do it, and then up and down, lovely lines.
I don't want the lines.
Why not?
I don't want to do anything in the garden. Just leave it at that.
But you might enjoy it. It might be relaxing for you, because you're quite tense.
Relax on those. Seriously. Relax on both of those.
Just, to get home from a stressful day and mow the lawn is lovely.
It's not! Let's calm down, because this is bringing out some bad
Isn't it?
Memories.
What's going on with you?
I used to have a flat, and I had the top flat, it was a converted house, people had the bottom flat. We shared garden. I owned the left half, bizarrely. They owned the right half, but it was all open. They would never mow the lawn. And so every time I mowed the lawn maybe 12 times a year, they'd mow it once. So every time I did it, I was begrudging and I picked up a resentment. Imagine that for, how long was I there? 8 years. Imagine 8-year resentment just growing and growing and growing.
In the summer, I do it 3 times a week.
What's on your show today? You're absolute.
What are you pulling that funny face for?
3 times a week.
Yes, 3 times a week.
You need to get
a life.
I love the lines.
I'm talking to my producer.
Get the gardener.
I'm talking to my producer.
Get a gardener.
That's ridiculous.
You'd get a gardener, wouldn't you?
Would you do something 3 times a week?
Why is his grass growing so quickly?
I don't know. I'm suspicious.
It's luxury grass. Looks like Wimbledon, my back garden.
What, you got ball boys running around?
And grunting women.
What's on your show today?
Coming up on the big phone in this morning from 9. Do you think people on benefits need more money to pay for food?
Oh.
It's a very big story today. The Archbishop of Canterbury has compared families who use food banks in this country to malnourished people in Africa. And he says it's time we overhauled the benefit system to help the 900,000 British people who have relied on free food handouts in the past year. However, Welfare Minister Lord Freud has suggested that we have more food banks in this country than we may actually need, and that some have been set up to make the government look bad.
Oh.
Whilst Tory MP Gutu Beb has faced criticism for commenting that, and I quote, "There are some people who appear to use food banks whilst being able to smoke and pay for Sky TV packages."
Yep, beautiful.
Well, from 9 this morning, I'd like your views, your reaction to this, and, most importantly, your experiences as well. Do you think people on benefits need more money to pay for food? 08459 455 555.
Every weekday from 3.
Is the best thing just to run away to a hotel somewhere?
A little bit of fun.
I've got a feeling that this argument unfolds in every house.
The latest news.
New regulations allowing parents to share the care of their child in the first year after birth come into force today. Personal Genome Service claims to offer access to more than 100 pieces of genetic information about your health.
A little bit of everything.
Because if you haven't got baby Jesus' nativity, then it's not a nativity, is it? Let me bring you up to speed with some local news. Good afternoon, welcome to the programme. What's your comment? We'll talk films and science fiction. I'm fascinated with science fiction films.
Roberto Perroni on BBC Three Counties Radio.
I've just seen Jonathan Vernon Smith's Lawn. It's nice, but I mean, 3 times a week, that's...
It's excessive. He's that neighbour. He's that neighbour.
He is that neighbour. God, imagine living next door to him.
Oh, I'd love that.
Sorry?
I would love that.
Why?
Because I just would love it.
I can't think of anything...
No, because if he's that neighbour, you're going to be that neighbour.
Yeah.
I'd spy on him
He'd be
all the
constantly
time.
telling you off.
Good. I'd be the curtain twitcher.
Sorry?
And when I see him in the garden, I'd pop out and just have a listen to what he says.
Why have you gone all... You've gone like all common and all Abigail's party on us?
Don't know what that means.
No, OK. Dennis is in Hemel. Good morning, Dennis.
Oh, yes, good morning. I've got a bit of good news for everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Today, December the 8th, the sun sets at 3:51.
Oh, good news.
Which means it sets no lower from today, so the evenings have finished drawing in.
So hang on, the evenings are drawing out?
Yeah, well, in a few days' time, they will start to draw out again, but it sets no lower from today, that's it.
So winter...
Now, the mornings carry on getting darker until January the 7th. That's why you have the shortest day in the middle. However, the evenings have finished drawing out.
And how happy is that making you, Dennis?
Brilliant, because at the end of January, there'll be 1 hour lighter in the evening, and it will rapidly speed up from then. So... psychologically, dark evenings are on the way out.
Do you fancy a fondue with me, Dennis?
Lovely, yeah.
Beautiful. See you there. See you there. Good news, Dennis. Thank you for that. Excellent stuff.
Great news.
Oh, that spontaneous round of applause didn't take.
Winter draws out, ladies.
Someone join in. I can't stop.
Nope, didn't take. Didn't take.
Stop. Just stop.
Didn't take. 60 trophies have been... Is there anything sadder than a spontaneous round of applause that doesn't take? Well, yes, this story. 60 trophies have been stolen from the Red Bull Formula One team's factory in Milton Keynes this weekend. 6 men in a 4x4 smashed through the glass entrance of the building in Bradbourne Drive and helped themselves to the silverware. Well, Mark Gallagher is a former member of the Jordan and Red Bull racing management team. This is an odd one, Mark, because, have I got this right, trophies... They're not really worth anything, are they?
No, I think that's one of the strange things about this, is it's, the intrinsic value of these trophies is very low. I mean, they're really trinkets, they're made of aluminium and sometimes plastic and a bit of wood, and, you might get the odd one that's gold-plated, but if that happens, I mean, usually the team doesn't actually get to keep them, and they make a replica. So a lot of the trophies that have been stolen aren't even the real item. They'll have been replicas of trophies that the team won over the last number of years.
Now, I thought most people kind of knew this, but maybe these thieves are idiots, or could there be another reason why they've taken them?
Well, I think they're certainly idiots because, exactly as you say, anyone with a bit of knowledge of sport generally, and certainly at Formula One, would know that the trophies in themselves really aren't worth anything. So if you're going to melt them down, well, you're not going to get a heck of a lot for the metals that are included in them. And then as regards, selling them on the open market, well, there isn't really an open market for stolen Formula One trophies. It's pretty obvious what they are. If you try to move them on, they're pretty easily identified. They've got the date and who won them on them. So, from that point of view, that doesn't stack up either. And I think this is really the thing that's caused such kind of confusion, I'd say, really, in the Formula One community, is why on earth would anybody want to do this? And it really just doesn't stack up. You know, it's certainly not crime of the century, and as you say, it's a lot of idiocy, I think, involved.
They have done quite a bit of damage, haven't they?
Yes, I mean, that factory in Bradburn Drive in Milton Keynes was actually, of course, the former Jaguar Formula One team, and in fact, almost exactly 10 years ago, November 2004, Red Bull took that team over from Jaguar. And it's a factory, but much like any other engineering factory, but it does have a very nice glass-fronted atrium. I think the very fact that you could drive a car through the front of the glass doors kind of illustrates the fact that, you know, security wasn't really top of the agenda there.
Yeah.
I think, if they were diamond encrusted or solid gold or something, it probably would have made it a bit more difficult for people to get in. So I think from every way you look at it, it's a silly crime and yet a very serious one. And clearly a lot of damage has been caused to the building. But I think more than that, it's just the emotional cost for the team. These trophies represent a decade of very hard work by 600 or 700 people in that super team in Milton Keynes, and one that's rightly proud of its achievements.
Mark, I really appreciate your time this morning. Be interesting to see where and when these trophies pop up, because they probably will, won't they?
Can you imagine trying to sell that? Yeah, I've got a few cups and that. Let's have a look. They say Red Bull on.
I mean, obviously... They
can be hard to get rid of, aren't they? Down the pub or...
The Red Bull could pop down to Timpson's or somewhere and buy some new trophies. I think that's where you get trophies from, somewhere like that, don't you? And
or a trophy specialist.
Because trophies aren't these great silver... You know, they're just made of tin.
I was really disappointed when I won my first and only trophy that it wasn't solid silver.
Yeah, I know. They look so impressive, but they're not really. You get from key cutters and things.
Yeah.
08459 455 555. It seems like only 15 minutes ago we were talking to Samantha Bruff.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are still problems on the M1 southbound. It's delays between junction 14 for Milton Keynes to junction 13 for Bedford after the accident there earlier on, and the recovery work going on to clear that out of the way. But it's also looking very slow northbound on the M1 between junction 12 for Flitwick and junction 13 for Bedford, while people slow down and look at the accident on the opposite carriageway. It's also causing it to be very busy around Marston Mauritane on the A421 southbound. Is looking very slow between Beancroft Road and the M1 junction 13 for Bedford. Elsewhere on the motorways, the A1M northbound is very heavy at junction 6 for Welwyn Garden City, and the M25 anti-clockwise is queuing between junction 21A for St Albans and 16 for the M40. Having a look at the A1 southbound, and it's queuing between the Kimbleton turnoff and the Black Cat roundabout through the roadworks there. But having a look at the train departure boards, and there's no delay showing up at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Samantha, thank you very much. Keep fingers crossed we can get the news with Lee.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30. I'm Lee Agnew. The headlines. There are new plans to put up the cost of parking in central Milton Keynes. Opponents say it could deter people from shopping in the new city. A pensioner's been attacked by 3 teenagers and badly injured while walking his dog at Wardown Park in Luton. The 78-year-old's been left with a fractured jaw and a bleed to the brain. A gang of 6 men have stolen around 60 trophies from the Red Bull racing team's base in Milton Keynes after ramming down the front entrance. The raid in Tilbrook took place in the early hours of Saturday morning. The weather will be generally dry with sunny spells but chilly, with top temperatures just 5 degrees Celsius. That's 41 degrees Fahrenheit.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Wycombe Wanderers are out of the FA Cup after a 1-0 defeat to AFC Wimbledon.
He's got into the box, it's Rigg, he's through, first time shot, it's a goal for Wimbledon. Rigg calmly slotted the ball to the right-hand side of Matt Ingram, and it's in the back of the net. Franken caused all the damage, laid it off to Rigg. He didn't need asking twice. It's 1-0 to Wimbledon.
So AFC are through to the third round for the first time in their 12-year history. The MK Dons are out of the competition, but Luton face a replay after a 1-1 draw at Bury. And in the Premier League, West Ham moved to third in the table after a 3-1 victory over Swansea at Upton Park. Ronnie O'Sullivan survived an incredible fight back from Judd Trump to win the UK Snooker Championship for a fifth time. Trump was 9-4 down before forcing a final frame decider, which O'Sullivan took to win 10-9. O'Sullivan says he just had to keep his head together.
To be honest with you, my mind was just gone, you know. I felt really nervous, you know, because obviously, you know, having such a lead, you know, you're thinking, like, if I lose it from here, it's, you know, the disappointment would have been just unbelievable.
Hertfordshire's Laura Trott won gold in the Omnium at the Track Cycling World Cup at the London Velodrome. It's her second gold of the tournament after victory in the women's team pursuit on Friday. Trott says despite the extra pressure, she's just delighted to win on home soil.
It's hard, like you go into your training sessions, you feel rubbish. It does sometimes get on top of you and I do get quite stressed, like I'm not going to lie. But to race in front of a home crowd again is just amazing, and it is such a confidence boost to win again here in London.
And that's BBC Three Counties News and Sport with more at 9 o'clock.
It is so close to my home. And
across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, guys. Boyley, recap what we got, please.
We're talking about the unfunny Christmas card that's been advertised widely on Twitter as a result of people being upset about it.
People are saying it's offensive. I don't think it's offensive. It's one of those things where people kind of imagine it's offensive. It's not really offensive. It's just saying that, you know...
It's just rubbish.
It's just rubbish, isn't it? And we're not allowed to make jokes about people on council estates anymore, guys. Guys.
Hey, I know people on council estates. They make jokes about people on council estates.
Yeah, that's when they're not smoking drugs. Or stealing. Yeah? Am I right? I'm not wrong, am I just?
No, you're never wrong.
Never wrong,
are you? No, never.
Or letting their dogs fight.
Oh, that one.
Yep. Guys? Yeah?
On your own here.
I'm speaking...
Oh, you crack on.
I'm like a political leader from one of the extreme parties left. All right, I'm not picking on anybody. I'm impartial these days. I've been told I have to be. And I'm just saying what everyone else is thinking. But out loud. I'm saying it out loud because I'm not afraid of the common man. No, I speak for the common man.
But you don't like him?
I don't like them. No. We're talking about that?
That's that sorted.
Anything else?
Also, shops you won't go into anymore.
Oh, yeah.
On moral grounds.
Yeah.
08459 455 555.
I had an email on this. Oh, I'll read it, shall I?
Yeah.
Shops I'll no longer go into, says... who is this from? Let me have a little look. See, from Steve. On Saturday, I found that McDonald's in central Milton Keynes had been refurbished. It looks great. And you now have the option to order your meal using one of the many impressive touchscreen computer terminals placed all the way along the entrance. One tiny problem. They've had to rip out a lot of the seating, which explains why one family were eating their meal while sitting on the stairs. I shall not be returning.
Good point, well made.
Good point, well made.
Listen, somewhere there is a clown weeping.
He's insane, that clown, but he's a genius. He's made a lot of money.
Yeah, he's good.
A lot of money. You don't see so much of him anymore.
Scary, isn't he?
No, Ronald wasn't scary. I mean, he's a lunatic.
Not Mr. Grimace.
Who?
Remember Mr. Grimace?
No.
The big purple fuzzball thing.
I suppose that now that Hamburglar is serving life in prison, Ronald doesn't need to be such a visible character, and I think that whole experience scarred him. Very, very dry humour today, but still humour nonetheless. I'll have it.
Good bands.
I won't call it humour.
Oh dear, just dripped your coffee on
Yeah,
your crotch.
I meant to drip coffee down my crutch.
Guys.
Yes, Just.
Can I get something off my chest?
Oh yeah, you got beef.
No, but it's about the X Factor.
No, listen, I've got serious beef here. Serious beef.
Start to fade him out.
No, seriously. Okay.
Might as well.
We are not going to be sued for what I'm about to say.
Oh, well, the fact that you've said that worries me.
Do not worry.
Have you got the light music ready, just in case?
I was forced to watch the X Factor last night, which hurts my heart. It hurts my music heart and my music ears. Yeah. So I was forced to watch this #relationship. So I was watching it last night, and they had a live vote, which involved 4 people.
#plum.
Yeah. Now, that vote went down to 3. Those 3 people go through to the final next weekend. Yeah. At the end, Dermot says, "Come out here, guys, come into the car park with me." So they go into the car park, the 3 finalists. Look, these buses have just been branded for you. So they went to 3 buses.
Yeah.
Now, forgive me if I'm wrong here. This was a live vote last night. They had 3 buses which had been branded, waiting outside for the finalists. How can you brand a bus in 5 minutes?
Brand the
There was
buses
another
for
bus
all
that
of
they
them.
No, we didn't see the other bus. We did not see
you
it.
wouldn't see it because they didn't go out.
And also, we never saw. We only saw the bus branded for Fleur, okay? Who I believe they want to win because they can market her in America. You did not see the branding for the other 2.
Right. Okay. Right.
First of all,
they've answered your first. They've answered.
Fleur.
Yeah.
What's her name?
I call her Fleur.
Right.
Fleur's right. Yeah.
Both the girls, even Kelly, has answered your question about why you didn't see the other buses. Because what they're going to do, they're going to get all the buses lined up. No, of course not. Right, it's down to these. Right, bring those 3 buses round. Bring the Fleur. No, we don't need the Stevie one. He got booted out a few weeks ago. Bring them round. Bring them round.
Right.
So, yeah.
No.
What?
I'm not having that at all.
What? You don't think they'd have more than 3 buses ready?
All right, then. OK, if you're telling me they had all 4 buses ready, why did you not see the branding on the other 2 finalist buses? Because the branding wasn't done, maybe. I am telling you right now, something last night, and people will back me up here, that programme was a big turd. Something went wrong last night.
You can't
Something
say
went
that.
wrong last night on that programme. If you saw it, call me now.
Yes.
Or call Ian.
Don't talk to. I'm not interested. I'm not interested.
Apologies for the use of the T word there.
Yeah.
I think that's still on the list.
Yeah, but Justin, right? Do you know what? I'll go along with you. Yeah, they're probably trying to sway your vote. I know for a fact from having spoken to people who have worked on reality TV shows that sometimes, not everything is as it seems, and they push you in one direction.
Subliminal.
One direction.
messaging.
There you go. You see,
very clever. But
imagine being pushed in one direction. Glenn's on the line. Morning, Glenn.
Morning, Ian.
You want to talk to Justin, do you?
I'm with Justin on this one.
Thank you.
I think it's already been decided.
I'm with you on that one, and I'll tell you why. And Chetan Partak, who's in the building this morning, our reporter, he's normally a very calm man. He was furious about this. I had to sit him down, make him a nice cup of tea, say, Chetan...
I doubt Chetan was furious.
Chet was furious this morning, and he was saying, I don't get it. I watched this programme. Something last night just did not add up to me. And Glenn, you're backing me up here. So, again, you're an intelligent guy. You're backing me up.
Yes, I am.
Guys, you know who always wins the X Factor, don't you? The only person that wins the X Factor. Simon Cowell. OK? You're talking about it. He's still winning. He's laughing it up with his massive trousers
but
on.
People like Glenn and I, we're the clever ones. We are seeing what is going on here.
Do you know what it sounds like? It sounds like you got bang into it last night.
No, I got bang into it because I thought something was wrong. I was tweeting, people were backing me up right the way around the world. Dealey, you've got a good point here.
Catherine, on a different subject... Can I throw this cup away that you bought me?
Yeah.
Because it's dripping dirty water all down my crutch.
Do that. And then if the water continues, we know it's not the cup.
Justin.
Yes.
Council estate cards.
Yes.
You've taken this to the streets. You think it's funny?
I do, yeah. It's been banned. Fury over the weekend.
Fury. Card Fury.
But it was, though. If you look at Twitter, people were furious about this.
Fleur was good on the X Factor, I'm being told on Twitter.
Well, I'm not saying that she wasn't good. I'm just saying that the guys at the X Factor, they want her to win because they know they can market her in America and make more money. But back to the cards.
Yeah.
So the front page of, the front of this card, it says 10 reasons why Santa Claus...
She's beautiful.
Yeah, she is.
I like Andrea. She's lovely.
Fleur is beautiful.
She's a good-looking girl. I'm not denying she's got a good voice. I'm not denying she's attractive.
Sounds like you're jealous of her.
I'm not jealous.
You go to the Mirror online, there's a picture of her in hot pants, sat on a throne, and the caption is, doing her thing. Her thing is wearing hot pants, sitting on a throne. Anyway, yeah, go on.
OK, so this card over the weekend...
Yes, please. We haven't got much time, Justin. Come on, get to the point. You're waffling, man.
It's been banned. 10 reasons why Santa Claus must live on a council estate. To give you a few of them. Number one, he has a serial record for breaking and entering.
That's your favourite one. You thought that was hilarious.
That one. He drinks alcohol during working hours. He can get hold of all the latest designer gear, but he never pays a penny for it. So those are just 3 of the 10. I said I wasn't offended by this, but then again, I don't live on a council estate. So
and I don't think you haven't offended... I don't think you can be offended.
Well, I've taken it to a council estate this morning, and some audio coming up here. Things got very, very tense, and some people are highly offended by this card. Here's what happened when I went to a tough council estate this morning with images of the card and those 10 reasons?
Well, quite honestly, I'm speechless because why knock people on council estates? I live on one myself, so I'm happy.
If somebody gave you that card, would you rip it up and put it in the bin?
Oh, yeah, because with the comments that have been made, yeah, of course I would. I wouldn't accept that.
What do you think? Is that offensive?
Not to me personally. I could see to a few people why it would be, but it's just a bit of banter, isn't it? It's a card.
Yeah. If you received a card like that for Christmas, how do you think that might make you feel?
Like to punch the bloke right in the face. The bloke who wrote the card.
Why would you like to punch him straight in the face?
Because he's insulting me and my wife and family. No, I'd bash him on the nose.
Do you think most people on this council estate here, and it is quite a tough one, do you think most people would be with you that this card is highly offensive?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. 9 out of 10 people that I know would feel exactly the same way I feel about that card or those remarks.
And do you think that if you did, again, the card has been banned, but a scenario, if you did receive that card, that you would not be friends with that person ever again?
You're telling me I would never speak to them again.
How interesting. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Take care.
Thank you. Cheerio.
I think it's offensive for people that live on this council estate.
Tell us why you think it's so offensive, because some people would say it's funny.
Stereotyping, isn't it? I don't find it funny. I don't find it funny whatsoever.
Somebody just said to me a moment ago, if they received this card, that they would punch that person on the nose. If you received a card like that, what would you do?
I wouldn't punch them on the nose, but I would be offended by it. And I'd probably have a go at that person.
Right, so what that fella has done, right, is basically he's proven every council estate. What's the word I'm thinking
Stereotype?
of? Thank you very much indeed. I'll go and punch him in the face.
Are you offended by that, sir? Yes, I am. I would exact violence on the person who made it.
I'm just saying, earlier on today, when I said I wasn't offended by that, I thought, you know what, I'm not just going to take this to the streets. I'm going to take this to where the story counts, to a council estate, and that man, I think, says it all, doesn't he?
Well, but yeah, what do you mean by that?
Well, he is offended by it. It's all very well for me to stand here this morning saying I would buy that for somebody if they lived on a council estate, but then again, I don't live on one. We're gone to a council estate, those people there, the majority, clearly very, very offended, and I can tell you right now, that was a very tense experience this morning, going to a council estate with that card.
So can only people who currently live on council estates be offended by that?
I can't imagine why anybody who didn't live on a council estate would be offended by that.
I bet there's loads of middle-class people up themselves that are terribly offended.
They're the ones that start the Twitter stuff.
They're the ones that are offended on behalf of black people and gay people and working-class people. They're offended on behalf of everyone else.
I get what you're saying. I mean, I think once, many years ago, I did a phone-in. It was St Patrick's Day. We were doing Irish jokes and we had 2 complaints. Were they Irish? No, they weren't.
Hey, do you remember Wayne and Waynetta Slob?
Yeah, they were great.
Well, they were one big council house joke, weren't they?
But
they were funny, weren't they?
They were funny. To me, they were funny.
He's laughing at the memory. Can you hear him?
Yeah.
He's got a little chuckle in his voice.
All I'm saying is, these days you wouldn't be able to do that. If you made them really posh, you can do what you like at the moment, but it's swung round the opposite way, hasn't it?
They got posh towards the end because I think they won the lottery and got a gold toilet, didn't they?
They got rich. I don't think they got posh.
Justin, excellent stuff, mate.
They won a gold toilet.
What?
They won a gold toilet.
Justin, thank you very much.
I've got a text for Justin. Justin.
Oh, yeah, go on.
Hashtag conspiracy theory, Colin in Dunstable.
Oh, yeah.
He's speaking your language,
is that it?
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, hashtag conspiracy theory.
Well, listen, we all know what happened last night. People are backing me up. End of, guys. See you later. Have a good day.
He's like our very own David Icke, isn't he?
Yeah.
In more ways than one. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the motorways, there are still problems on the M1 southbound. There are severe delays from junction 14 for Milton Keynes to 13 for Bedford after the serious accident there earlier, and there's debris on the road as well, all being cleared out of the way at the moment. The M1 northbound, though, is very heavy with people slowing down, looking at the traffic between junction 12 for Flitwick and 13 for Bedford. And we're also just hearing that in Flitwick on the A5120, just by the Tesco roundabout heading into Westerning, the emergency services are on the scene after an accident there, so that's causing some delays, according to callers Paul and Richard. Having a look elsewhere on the roads and in Amersham on Gore Hill, it's looking very heavy on the speed sensors between the A413 and the A40 London Road. And on the trains, there's no reports of any major problems, but London Midland have a replacement replacement bus service running between Watford Junction and St Albans Abbey, and that's for engineering works going on until the end of the month. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yeah. It was. 8:46. Monday, the 8th of December. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Business leaders in Milton Keynes say putting up parking charges could deter shoppers from going to the new city. It's not a city. A 78-year-old man has been attacked and badly injured while walking his dog at Wardown Park in Luton. And a gang of men have stolen around 60 trophies from the headquarters of Red Bull Racing in Tilbrook. Coming up, your phone calls, and you want to talk about the blooming conspiracy theory of X Factor. What a surprise. They might be manipulating you. Who'd have thunk it? 08459 455 555. Let's get the weather. Here's Alina.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning to you, Ian. It's another cold day. Fair amount of cloud around and also one or two showers. The winds are westerly at the moment, but they'll turn more northwesterly as the day wears on, pick up a little bit. So some showers that are feeding in through the Cheshire Gap could well head down our way. And if you catch one, it could just be on the wintry side, particularly over higher ground. But otherwise, some spells of pleasant winter sunshine, but tempered all the while by that increasing northwesterly wind. A high today of just 5 Celsius, 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Overnight, clear skies and a widespread frost as temperatures dip down to -2 Celsius, perhaps a few patches of shallow fog through the early hours. And a bright, crisp start to Tuesday, but any initial sunshine will quickly fade as the cloud builds. The winds will strengthen as well. So another raw-feeling day, despite temperatures actually being higher than they are today at around 8 or 9 Celsius. That's up to 48 degrees Fahrenheit. Some outbreaks of rain through tomorrow evening and overnight, but it should clear by Wednesday morning. And then Wednesday will be bright with some sunshine, but very windy with the risk of gales. And once again, that's going to make it feel very cold. Ian, that's your forecast.
Your world. It's full of the things that are important to you.
The main reason the hospital's full to bursting is that so many more of us are living longer, getting more poorly, suffering complex problems, and taking longer here to recover.
From what's plain to see to what's beneath the surface.
Now, this is one area which has been highlighted as being a drug hotspot, and it wasn't...
The more you know about your world, the closer you feel to it.
There's a commercial oven and a table that have drifted past us on the water. They've come out of the ruptured cafe down here.
Your local news matters on BBC Local Radio, TV and online.
Okay. So, this guy, he is an architect and he has built an horrific fence around his house.
Gosh. How horrific.
Fortress of Fear. Well, it's like a typical, kind of suburban street. He's the kind of near the end of a terrace, I think. And so it's right at the front of the house, okay? So all of them have got, like, driveways and things, and there's no fences around, or maybe a little 2-foot wall. He's built a 6-foot fence around the front of his house. Can you see that?
No.
How about if you have a look at that? He says it says he's... It's weird, isn't it? Architect terrified for his children's safety put 6-foot fence around the house. Neighbours complain he's ordered to tear it down. Good, it looks blooming horrible. Mr. Martin said the fence was an improvement. An Englishman's home has long supposedly been his castle. Emily Kent Smith. What a lazy start to this story. But a council has ruled he cannot make it look like a wooden fort. This is what happened at this terrace house in North London, where owner Andy Martin, brackets, who is in fact Australian...
Why does that matter?
Close brackets. Installed a 6-foot 5-inch fence around his front garden without planning permission. Mr. Martin is an architect who's worked for rock star Noel Gallagher.
Right. Why does that matter?
I don't know. Where is this? £620,000 in 2012. It's not a particularly nice part of North London, then, if that's what he paid for it. I wonder where that is. Mr. Martin, who bought the property, talked about his home in the London Magazine, describing it as an ugly house, but he claims that the palisade he erected around it earlier this year was actually a thing of beauty. Yeah. And the area will be improved if more homeowners follow his lead. So it's a big, massive fence, 6.5 foot high, wooden slats, and he's got a buzzer on it. It looks horrible. It's really helped. It gives us a lot more security. It gives us 2 lines of defence before entering the house. I'm not sure why it's been radically opposed, because it looks flippin' horrible.
2 lines of defence?
Well, yeah, that and then the front door, isn't it? I've got to stop saying in it, because I'm annoying myself with it. Even though I've stopped saying it ironically, and now I say it because I actually mean it.
OK, all right.
In Mr. Martin's belated planning application, he described his fence as a modest construction. I always have a thing about people who apply for planning permission retrospectively. I always think, tear it down.
It's like they knew that it wouldn't be granted in the first place.
And sometimes people do it by accident, even if it's an improvement, even if it looks nicer. I think, tear it down. You didn't follow the rules. Because planning permission is a right pain in the bum, and you have to jump through hoops to get through that. So don't build it and then tear it down. Tear it down immediately is always my instruction. Front gardens are weird, aren't they? We don't really pay much mind to front gardens.
We should. I've got a rubbish front garden, but I'm keeping it. People have told me to pave over it. But then where's the runoff from the house?
Your front garden is tiny?
Yeah.
Do you mow that?
Yeah. But we're working on it at the moment. We had some trees on there. They were like lollipops that were put in by previous owners.
Lollipop trees.
And they just covered up the front of the house. This is really boring.
Isn't it?
Anyway, front gardens, I think they're necessary. Don't pave over them. Make the most of them.
Britain's colder than Moscow.
Right.
Parts of Britain will be colder than Moscow today.
Which parts?
Scotland.
Okay.
This doesn't really count, does it?
Well...
Parts of Britain will be colder than Moscow today as temperatures plummet and snow blankets much of the countryside. Rural areas... It's always snowing in Scotland. They've always got snow on. And Northern England, who cares?
I was there yesterday. I can confirm there was some sleet.
Woke up to a sprinkling of snow yesterday, but as much as 4 inches is predicted for later today. Forecasters say temperatures will drop to as low as minus... Oh, I've left the radiator on in the bedroom. Forecasters say temperatures will drop to as low as minus 8 degrees tonight and warned the cold snap is expected to linger for several days. It's winter.
Hey, guys, it's December.
It's winter, isn't it? Why do people get surprised when it gets cold in the winter? That's what the winter is supposed to do, isn't it?
Yes, because if it was really mild, people would be saying, oh, isn't it mild? Oh, I'm worried about global warming and the polar bears.
Where's the sun? I've not
Hey, Janet's got moral objections to WH Smith's.
It's winter.
You know, we were asking about people who boycott shops.
Yeah. What's their beef with Smith's?
Janet says, I refused to go into WH Smith's after they became surly when I refused to use the self-service till.
Surly not.
That's from Janet. I don't like using self-service till. I do. Everyone loves a zap. But at the same time, I feel like I'm doing someone out of a job. So if there's someone sitting there, I'll go to them instead.
Have you got the sun in there? Oh, there it is. It's hidden. I like this. No, I like the self-service. Let's get rid of all those suckers.
Oh, no.
Yeah, let's get rid of them.
Oh, no.
Yeah, let's get rid of him. As long as there's one woman keeping an eye on the till and actually keeping an eye on the till, so when the red light goes off, they step in and do their job instead of you standing there like a plum. Don't you think?
No.
Why?
I like a cashier. Because of that reason. Because the machines never work properly, because there's always an unexpected item in my bagging area, and actually I'd rather have human contact and feel like I'm putting someone in a job.
Speaking of putting people in jobs, a man I've never heard of is now king of the jungle.
Who?
Carl Fogarty. No,
Who?
Not a member of Creedence Clearwater Revival. He's former superbike champion. Burst into tears as he was crowned king of the jungle last night. The stunned winner said he felt like he was in a dream. One of my favourite things I've ever said was when I won the weakest link. A little bit of cheating, but it doesn't matter. 20 grand to charity. Then they film you afterwards, kind of talking about how you feel to go over the end credits. And my favourite is one of my favourite lines. I said, "Oh, it feels just like a dream come true, a dream where I win the weakest link."
Yeah, it was good.
Mel Sykes finished third.
I swear Edwina Curry has been in every single I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. I feel like she's in it every time.
Mel Sykes came third. Who came second, then?
Probably Edwina.
Oh, I know, that fella, Jake Quittenden, who's been on the X Factor this time around and therefore qualifies as a celebrity.
It's a really poor... it's a really poor lineup on I'm a Celebrity. I might do the next one if they ask me again.
With Edwina Curry?
Yeah.
She'll be in it.
Biebs bosses blow £21 million on taxi rides. Good.
Oh, yes, go on.
What do you mean good?
Well, I'd probably use that. Bad. BBC bosses spent £21 million on taxi fares in 3 years.
Bad.
OK. Oh, yeah.
Who says that?
Some people. Staff at the corporation ran up the enormous bill for 830,000 journeys. They blew 18.8 million on account bookings and a further 2 million claimed on expenses. The sum obtained under the Freedom of Information Act is equal. It is ridiculous, man. If I had control of the BBC, I could save it so much money, so much money.
Yeah, because you'd sack everyone apart from us.
Well, you say apart from you, you'd have to reapply for your jobs. I'd sack half the people here. I think we know which half. I'd also I'd get rid of EastEnders. Mm-hmm. That'll save you what, 11 million quid a year. Andrew, what do you reckon?
Hey, Ian, I know it's Monday, but what's going on? The volume keeps going up and down, up and down.
What? What do you mean?
I've been listening to your radio show this morning.
Yeah?
And every now and again, the volume goes up and down. At first, I thought it was my radio.
I think there's something wrong with your radio, Andrew.
No, I switched to the online stream.
Yeah?
And I'm still getting the fluctuating volume levels.
You're getting the what?
The volume levels are fluctuating.
He said fluctuating. We're okay. Hey! Well, Andrew, listen, I sincerely apologise for that. It's because the BBC are so busy spending £21 million on taxis for a load of chancers, they can't be bothered to spend any money on sorting their signals out.
I completely agree with you.
Andrew, I'm very, very sorry. You've never called us before, have you?
Nobody I called JVS.
Oh, well, listen, forget that guy. Yeah, forget that guy, Andrew. Start calling us. You sound like a fun guy. What was the last thing you spoke to JVS about?
I don't remember.
Was it to have a whinge? Were you whinging to him? Were you?
It's a long time since I've called in, actually.
Yeah, well, Andrew, listen, you're ours now. You can't go back to JVS, OK?
No problem.
Thank you very much indeed.
What was he talking about?
The fluctuations in the volume control. It's because the BBC is spending all of this money on taxis. Am I supposed to be saying this stuff? Am I now...
Well, attribute it. Which paper's saying this? Because there are a number of papers that are having a pop at the moment.
The Sun.
OK, we might need to have a look through their figures.
Katie Ladd says she's boo-booed.
Oh?
Boobed.
Oh, no.
Katie Price has revealed that one of her sons is devastated by her recent breast reduction because his friends like her larger chest.
What?
Oh, this story takes a weird turn, paragraph 2.
I think it's already taken a turn.
9-year-old Junior is worried his mates will no longer fancy her.
That's weird.
Mum of 5, Katie, revealed Junior went, "Oh my God, Mum, what have you done? Where have your boobs gone?" I said, "Junior, it's a new me." He said, "Mum, I like you with big boobs and my friends think you're fit."
Oh, that kid knows too much, doesn't he?
Jordan says, "I think, oh my God, Junior, you're only 9, but boys are so forward these days." Now, imagine if that was the other way round. If it was a gentleman talking about his 9-year-old daughter's friends fancying him. And with that thought...
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 southbound, it's queuing after an accident between junction 14 and 15 for Milton Keynes and junction 13 for Bedford. That accident is being cleared away now, but it's also causing queues northbound on the M1 between junction 12 for Flitwick and 13 for Bedford. It's also causing problems around Marston Mauritane on the A421 southbound. It's looking very slow between Beancroft Road and the M1 junction 13 at Bedford. It's looking very slow on the A5 as well on both approaches to Hotcliffe. And we're just hearing that on the A5... 120 in Flitwick by the Tesco roundabout heading into Westerning. There's been an accident and it's causing some queues through there. Samantha Breff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Samantha, excellent stuff this morning. Thank you. Thank you to my team, Catherine Boyle, Kelly Betts, Justin. We even had a little bit of scoins as well. That was nice, wasn't it? Till tomorrow at 6 from us. Ta-ta.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Ian. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon-Smith. It's Monday. It's 9 o'clock. And on today's Big Phone In, do you think people on benefits need more money to pay for food?